right, everybody, welcome to the Thursday Night Forum. We have a show that's starting on time here for once. Usually it's a few minutes later than advertised, but as per Gary always says, let's get it started on time.
Wow, Reddy's here.
Reddy is here. Good job, Reddy. Thanks for being here. Evening, gentlemen. How are we all doing? Alonso, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be back on Thursday night with you guys, you and Ray and Tony and Stan and whomever else comes along tonight. Thanks
like this guy.
To chat.
What's going on? Is that me?
As well.
Alonso's going. RoboCop Terminator.
Downloading. He's downloading. 56K. Alonso.
All right. We'll wait for. All right, Alonso, doing good. That's good to hear. Tony, how you been? Well, yeah.
Been okay.
I should know better, right, Gary?
Yes.
I'm still upright. I'm doing all right.
Definitely. Whenever we see you, Tony, here, you're doing okay. When you're not around, you're either sleeping after a long Fool Nelson podcast on Saturday night, or you're not doing so well. Your body's not doing so well. So there you have it. Gary, how you been?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Yes.
All right. We maybe are expecting Stan to join us as well, but we will get into it. Let's get a few comments here going. Henry Baker was here earlier. I don't know why the comments delete themselves after a few hours, but basically could not watch us live. Catch us on playback, and I hope you're enjoying the show right now on playback and live. Of course, Henry, we understand this will always be available in playback. It's going to be a cracking game on Sunday, so we're looking forward to a good game on Sunday. Craig is here. Arsenal have the most points of all leaders in Europe, top 5 leagues. Arsenal 72, Napoli 71, Barcelona 71, PSG 66, Bayern Munich 55. We're in good company, Gary.
Yep. It's all luck. That's what a lot of people are saying. It's a lot of luck.
Yeah. I hate that. I was watching a Liverpool podcast that I like to watch because everyone knows they're my second favorite team. And not one of them believed that Arsenal could go on and seal the deal from here. There was 3 people, and they all said, City are going to do what City does. City are just going to come with that run. Well, we're the ones that are coming with that run right now. We're the ones that have strung 7 games together. Hi, Stan. Welcome to the show. Evening. So, Craig, starting 11. Basically, it's as you would expect. Let's talk about the front 3, though. Trossard, Jesus, and Saka. Stan, how you been?
I'm good, thank you. How's everyone?
All right. I'm looking forward to a game where Arsenal have been supreme for the last 7 games, winning game after game after game, and I think we're in a good position now to take on one of the premier games of the season, going to Anfield, playing against the atmosphere as well as the team. Tony, what are your thoughts about Sunday?
I think we'll win. I think we'll keep the momentum going. Still a little bit scared about having Holding back there, but it seems what Arteta wants to do.
Yeah, my response to that is every player makes mistakes, and Holding will make a mistake, but we're going to, come down on him like a ton of bricks because he makes a mistake if he does. Gary, holding Liverpool's scoreless is going to be very difficult to do at Anfield on Sunday.
Well, if any team can do it, it would be us, right? We were best team on the road, most clean sheets on the road. I guess we play a lot more. We play better on the road. We're probably more comfortable on the road. Not as much pressure. So yeah, I mean, as I said, there's nothing special we need to do. We just need to continue doing what we've been doing for 29 games now. So unless Arteta's going to take risk, which that's why we don't think Holding will come out the game unless he's going to take risk, which nobody sees happening. We know what the starting 11 will be. He can make choices with Trossard, figuring out whether he starts or not. I mean, I even heard, not even it's not. I don't think it's crazy, but why if Zinchenko plays, then that might put pressure on us in terms of when he moves into midfield and put a little pressure on our back line, which we already are saying is a little bit suspect with Holding there. If Tierney plays, then defensively we're stronger. But I think offensively we take a little step back. So which one is it? Do we go offensively and try to beat them, score as many goals as we can, but they're going to be playing at home. So, defensively we're better on the road. So I don't know. There's a lot of, back and forth you can go with this thing. We can try to score 4 goals on them, or we can try to hold them to no goals, defensively, because we do have options. So yeah, it's a bit of a chess game, but it's probably going to be the less risky route for Arteta. But yeah, I would have, that
I think
you either have Trossard or you have Tierney would be your only kind of like changes to the lineup if there are going to be any.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to this point in the season with 72 points now, 23 wins. We've only gotten that way by not being defensive, by being what's the word? Being going for it, using Zinchenko to pivot up the field, go into midfield, and take our chances. And we haven't gotten to this point by trying to be defensive. So I don't think we're going to be defensive.
Zinchenko is the same one at home against City that lost the ball, created the counter attack, which they scored on. So it goes both ways. That's why you could take it either way you want, because offensively, yes, but then we see what happens when it goes wrong. So
yeah, and in terms of losing games, it has gone wrong 3 times this season, but the risk versus reward seems to be the thing. While Stan gets himself settled there, get Alonso a second round. Hopefully we can get some of your words in there, Alonso. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How are you feeling for Sunday?
I'm feeling quite confident, really. I know it's a tough place to play. It always has been for us. Like Gary had said, I think one area we should look out for is not Holding more so than Zinchenko. I noticed in a couple of games recently that he kind of gets comfortable playing the midfield position or moving in an advanced role where he can get himself into trouble sometimes and it causes turnovers and doesn't really track back enough to where he can make up for that mistake. Other than that, I think it should be a close game, but I think we should have enough to manage and win out of that.
Stan, how are you feeling for Sunday? We have Liverpool fans that are feeling, rightly so confident that they're playing at home, that their home record can give them that win over Arsenal. But I really want to go up there and win for the first time in over 10 seasons.
I feel quite confident going to Anfield. I mean, we are the favourites. And as somebody said in the chat there, I think BX Gunner said about passing the baton with Liverpool conceding the number 2 team in England at the moment. Well, Man City are the number 2 team in England at the moment. We're the number 1 team in England at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we've earned it. We've been number 1 since the first day. But when I look at the Liverpool game, 2 things. The first one is that I think that we need to go onto the front foot and score early and shut up their crowd. If we can get their crowd quiet early on, that will definitely help us. And, looking at the lineup, something that I said to you, Ray, during the week is I would start Trossard in this game. And I'd start him in the same position that he scored his hat-trick for Brighton against Liverpool. 2 reasons for that. One, he's going to be confident playing against them. And psychologically, it may worry them to see him on the pitch again, facing them. So I would
Yeah.
definitely say that for that reason, I think it might give us a slight edge. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for where you can get edges and small margins. Maybe fielding Trossard would be a small margin that would help us.
Yeah, but Kayasaka, having played 60, being rested for 60 minutes, played 30 against Leeds, is definitely going to start. And then the other two positions are up for grabs across three players, Yeah, I would be in favor of Trossard playing on the left and maybe Gabriel Jesus. We're all going to differ. And the great thing about this is we have four players that can fight for three positions here, and we're all going to disagree on who we want to play up front alongside Saka for the other two positions. Tony, how do you see the other two positions for you?
It doesn't really. I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah. It's a difficult choice, right, Tony? Because, you got Martinelli or Trossard, you got Gabriel Jesus or Trossard, maybe,
Yeah,
the first time I've seen Tony speechless for a long time.
Well, to me, I'd probably put Trossard. I'd probably put Trossard in the middle.
Right. Who would you
And
play on the left?
I was also doing math, right?
Uh-oh.
Okay, everybody, step back. Step back. If he's doing
That's
math,
took so long.
We're at 72 points, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
And a win is 3 points.
Yes. 75. We'll get there.
And at a season, what was our point goal?
I targeted 75 because
So
I
we're
can't
at 100%.
find any Arsenal fan that could tell me we will be in this position.
So we can fuck off the rest of the season and Ray will be happy.
No, I want more. I want to get 75 points and add another 15 on top of that.
What's your new goal? Was it 85? Was that
90?
your new one?
90. Yeah. Finishing on 69 points last season, and Liverpool finished, I think, on 92, something like that. It's a huge turnaround just between the two teams, Gary.
Yep. Well, this is the growth that we were looking for, right? From season to season since Arteta's come in. We've been asking for getting better each season. We've done that. We needed more scoring. We've gotten that. Now we need even improved scoring and better depth, and that's where we are right now. So, this is what we wanted. We wanted it faster, but this is what we got. This team looks good and is playing well and is focused, right? They're focused on the Premier League. Let's just say that. The other cups not so much, but this one, the Premier League, they come to play pretty much every day. So this is a good step. We're gonna So right now we're fine. Going forward we have to make some big changes, I think. But we'll take it right now. I like where we are right now as a squad.
Would you guys take a draw given our horrible record there? Reluctantly, I'd be disappointed if we get a draw, to be honest. I think we're good enough to go there, control the game, albeit, that crowd is going to get into it as well. And I think this is the perfect test for the team right now, where they are in their development,
It'd be kind of nice to kill their kind of run of form I've had going lately.
Yeah, they've won 3 games on the bounce at home anyway, Tony, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we can. If we're not going to beat them this year, we're not going to beat them on Sunday. When do we think we'll beat them?
Well, of course we did. We did beat them at our place.
No. When have we beat them in Anfield? Because that's the only thing we're talking about. We're talking about winning
2012.
At Anfield.
2012.
When if we're gonna do it? If we don't do it, what more? Everything's in your favor right now.
Yeah,
you're playing it. You're in the best form. They are. They're not. They're an up and down team. They're not consistent. Right. I don't think they're playing with all of the squad that they would like. The players they brought in aren't clicking as they would like. If you're not going to win, this is the best time to beat them.
Yeah,
You're
I
right,
agree.
because
I agree.
we're assuming that they're not gonna let this dip in form will continue. So, like I said, if we continue to play the way we do, it should, the odds are in our favor to get the win. We should be
Mhm.
disappointed with a draw. A loss is unacceptable, as Arteta would like to say. All right, be
Mhm.
unacceptable to lose to this team with what's going on, where we are and where they are.
Yeah. Yeah, Alonso, this Liverpool team, they're not the team. They're having some struggles this season. And their midfield, we can really take advantage of their midfield and their fullbacks especially.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I work at a grocery store, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in the sushi department, there's a guy who likes Liverpool. So I was giving him a hard time and say, "We never walk alone." There's a Malcolm, right?
Yeah.
And it's hilarious his reaction. And his name is also Ben, so I always call him Ben White or Ben Blanco. Anyway, so yeah, it was kind of funny to come back to work Monday and give it to him, give him saying that Arsenal won and never walked alone.
Yeah. BX Gunner says here, Allison has mistakes in him under pressure. I think BX I would respectfully maybe disagree with that. I think Allison has been their best player this season.
But anyway, but back to your saying, right? I think when we have a guy like Odegaard, who's been outstanding for us ever since he really came from Real Madrid, I think he and Partey will be the key, and also the left hand side with Xhaka now scoring goals and Martinelli as well. I think that they have more than enough pace to destroy them, and I think people are not realizing how much how much faster we are than them, and how much older they are with the current Liverpool team they have, like Henderson and Fabio and other
Henderson,
players.
Fabinho, yeah.
So we got to take advantage. We got to take advantage of that, and I think Odegaard's scoring record speaks for itself, and it's quite amazing to see his leap to the Arsenal team.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Tom said, I thought Arsenal would have tried to get the game put back a day, as Easter Monday is when Jesus tends to peak. My 88 is still going. Yes, well, I remember that one, BX. Your predictions at the start of the season. We got 69 last season. Welcome, Don Juan. We were already on 72. And the ability possibly to add many, many more wins on top here because we've got 9 more of these to go. We've done it before, BX said, and achieved the impossible already. It can be done again. Form goes out the window in these games. I don't know. I think it goes out the window if you allow it to go out the window. This is a huge test. Gary, our players will be facing an atmosphere that will be like no other atmosphere, probably in the league, other than maybe Newcastle, away from home.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get the whole form and all of that, but none of these players know all about the history, except for since they've been with Arsenal. They'd never played in Anfield multiple years in a row, So
New experience.
and Jesus, Zinchenko, they've competed. I don't know. I don't believe they probably haven't won as much in Anfield, but they're looking to show what they can do. So they've chased down this team, so now they're trying to keep their distance. So I think they'll be up for it. That's what we're looking for from them, experience wise. Form go. You always say form goes out the window, but for us, we can't let form go out the window. It's got to be almost just another game.
Yeah,
Just another game like we've been playing. If we look at Anfield as part of the equation, then we're in trouble because then we're not thinking about our football. But if we think about our football and that's all we think about, it won't matter where we're playing.
Yeah,
we're not sitting 8 points clear because we look at everywhere we go and go, you know what, this is going to be an issue because all season I've heard, well, this is going to be a tough one because we never play well there. This will be a tough one because we never play well there. This will be tough match because we never play there. We never have good, games there. Well, we've been answering that question multiple times this season. Here we go, another test coming up. Just can't look at Anfield as a part of the equation, and just as you say, if we can come out, we've let teams feel like they can get a goal on us early in the number of games recently. It's time for us to be the one on the front foot and maybe get that early goal. I mean, we've given teams opportunity to score within the first 30 seconds of a match. We can't let that happen. We can't we can't be taking our foot off the. We have to come out blazing, basically. Right.
Concentration has been lacking. Exactly. I remember even the time going from George Graham to Arsene Wenger. I think Arsene Wenger was once told by maybe Tony Adams, Liverpool away is a very big indicator if you're going to go on and win the league. Generally, when we have won the league, we have won at Liverpool. If you check back our last 3 or 4 league titles, we have won the game at Anfield. And if you win the game at Anfield, you generally go on to win the league. Don Juan said Liverpool's record used to be terrible against us between 97 and 2007. Football goes in circles and cycles. After watching the Chelsea versus Liverpool match, I'm more confident than ever of getting a win at their swap, at their place, I guess. Tony, what did you make of the lineup from Chelsea? Did Klopp, did he rotate in order to save players for this big game on Sunday? It's a high-profile game at home, but wouldn't you think you have a better chance of beating Chelsea this past week, midweek?
Yeah, I think you would, but especially against Chelsea's form and everything, you would think you would, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
As Ray used to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I think
he sure does, doesn't he?
I think Klopp is sort of retreated into factory setting. This is a high-profile game playing at home, and I think he's going to want to get the win against Arsenal. Obviously, Mr. Tom, the only team that has beaten Liverpool at home so far is Leeds United, so we want to join Leeds United on that list on Sunday. Alisson did give Leeds a goal at Anfield 5 minutes into the game. It was more like Joe Gomez gave you the goal, Mr. Tom, with that poor back pass.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I believe everybody thinks Klopp is a good manager, and if he knows, look, I don't have to put my my starting 11 in a game against Chelsea because Chelsea is worse off than they are, essentially, right? They're probably more of a mess. I think Liverpool is just old more than they are having a really poor meltdown kind of situation. So he probably thought, look, we need to get points in every game. If I don't have to play my stars, and Chelsea going up against no Salah, no Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they still had a chance to get the win later on when they brought Salah in, right? So it worked for him, and that's why we consider him a pretty good manager. He got his team in the right situation to where they weren't going to lose to Chelsea, and now they're rested up for an Arsenal match that is just as critical, and more just turn the tide of where they've been. If they get a big win here, will it help them? Maybe. It didn't help them when they beat United, right? They kind of went back and struggled after that. So it's up to us to just go, no matter what you do, we are a better club. So
Stan, seizing on what Gary's just said there, it really is up to us. And I think Granit Xhaka was interviewed after the Leeds game saying, we're not worried about what other teams are doing. It's about what we do within our own camp. Don Juan said that Chelsea game didn't tell us much. Liverpool rested some key players. And he also goes on to say, Arsenal just need to focus on themselves. We'll be fine. We shouldn't have to worry about other teams too much, right?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I keep saying it. We're in first place. What's there to worry about? We've been there
Yeah.
since the beginning of. Like I say again, we've been there since the beginning of the season. The only person
I
that
think
can hurt us is ourselves.
I think it's natural to look at what we're going to play now. We're going to play Liverpool away, West Ham's kind of tricky game, Southampton, and then we got Man
They're
City.
rubbish. They're all rubbish. West Ham's rubbish. Southampton's rubbish. Liverpool's in the mud.
Yes.
I don't fear any of these teams. Maybe Newcastle could give us a good game.
Yeah.
I'm not seriously. I don't fear any of these teams. This team has shown us that we can come back from behind. We can win games when we're 2 goals down. We can score goals right at the death if we need to get to grab the 3 points. The only thing that can mess us up is ourselves and the officials. As far as I can
you know
see.
what? That's not even something we can concern ourselves with anymore. We have to
Exactly.
overcome every obstacle that comes our way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we are good enough to
the magic
overcome.
number is 95 points, right?
95.
Man City can only get 94 points, I believe. 95 is the magic number.
Yep.
So I'm just chalking these games off now. I don't want to sound like cocky, but I'm just chalking them off one at a time.
No,
because what I've seen this season, the team doesn't give me any doubts that on their day there isn't anybody in this league that we can't get 3 points from.
Yeah,
we've got much variety. We've got so much variety now and we've got especially our front line can interchange in different positions. You know, we've got cover for Thomas Partey, and you know, contrary to popular beliefs, you know, Rob Holding can play football.
Yeah. And do you know what I think about Rob Holding as well? I think he's going to revel in that duel with Darwin Núñez as well. He does best when believe it or not, when he has a physical body to play against. He struggled with
Partey. He'll have Thomas Partey in front of him to help him out. He'll have Gabriel next to him to help him out. He'll have Rob White on his other side to help him out. You know, all he has to do is keep his game neat and tidy. And, you know, Liverpool aren't playing. I mean, they can't press, can they? You know,
no.
It's no good their forward players pressing because there's no second wave. Their midfielders hasn't got any legs. There's no second wave. And it's the same when running back to help out in defence. And if we can capitalise on that, this team must be going into this game with belief. You know, I just hope that Mikel shouldn't be overcomplicating it by playing "We'll Never Walk Along" over the Tannoy system, because that just tells the players the boss is really worried about this one. We don't usually do this. He's really concerned, and that concern rubs off onto the team. If Mikel goes in there with a confident attitude, the team should be going in on the back of what they've achieved this season. They should be relishing the game to show everybody, look at what we can do.
Yeah, listen, I want our team to show respect to Liverpool because you can't go. The danger now is we win so many games we get cocky, right? Like you said, Stan, you don't want to sound cocky. You sound like you have belief.
The Everton match is a game where if they thought they were cocky going into a game, they can get smacked in the mouth very easily. And that run of games around that stretch is another. We've done this before. Last season, around the same time, we had tough games that we needed to play. We needed to get the wins. We're back there again. Just tougher teams on paper, but not in reality, right? I mean, everybody's below us on the table that we play, right? Everybody. Only one of the teams so far has gotten a win on us, City, right? All these teams that we're talking about. So we've seen wins with most everybody in the league. So Liverpool, be nice to do the double. And the confidence in this team. Like I said, there's nothing they have to do different than they've done before. Not a thing. Everything they've done. The last number of games we scored 3 and 4 goals. You know, all the Premier League matches. We can do that on anybody. Just do it again. Quiet Anfield, and then go home. I mean,
even if we take a worst case scenario and we lose to Liverpool, it will only be a blip. We won't go into the next game and lose that one. You know, and if you look at the draw sort of ladder, there still may be another loss between now and the end of the season. Yeah, there may be another loss in there. There may be a couple of draws in there still.
Yeah.
But I think that we've done enough that we can. One, we won't. If should that happen, it won't become it won't become a trend the following week. Because I think this team's mature enough to get over it, and I think we've got enough of a cushion that it won't damage us too much in winning the league. We could even lose to City and still win this league.
Yeah, and Thunder Road here makes a good point, and it sort of leads into what we're talking about right now and the title of the podcast as well. We drew at Southampton, St. Mary's, lost Old Trafford, and Everton. Don't think we turned the corner at bogey venues. But I think we need to show respect to these teams and the venue of Anfield, but also go there with confidence and have no fear. Bukayo Saka right now is playing with no fear. The majority of this team is playing without fear. And, we will be tested on Sunday by the atmosphere and by the occasion. And but it's nothing that I don't think we can't overcome. You know what I mean?
The only thing we should be frightened about on Sunday is Klopp's teeth.
those shiny veneers. We always struggle away against
huge,
teams
like chiclets, like big chiclets.
Like one of those. Which one is from the Banana Splits with the teeth?
Yeah,
like
bingo.
That?
The fireman.
There you go. Klopp doesn't care about Liverpool. He cares about his own legacy and his one Premiership title. He doesn't want Arsenal and Arteta to win the league. That puts his legacy in the mud. There is.
I heard people bring that up.
Saying that, right, Gary?
I don't. What?
People are saying that.
It wasn't as if he came with no receipts when he joined. It wasn't like he had won trophies at Bayern, Borussia Dortmund before he got here. Isn't it like he hasn't won a Champions League, right? So I don't think Arteta's there yet. I don't think we're comparing Klopp and Arteta. At least their legacies at this point. And they're
like I think like it's been said there. Do you think that Liverpool fans are worried that Klopp's legacy will be overshadowed if Arsenal go on and win this against City, basically at the first attempt against City? You know what I mean? I think that's what they're trying to verbalize.
I don't see how we're even talking about legacy with Klopp at this point in Arteta's career. I mean, he wins this, yes, but then he's still got a long career to go. I mean, I don't even think it's worth it. For me, it's not worth discussing just yet because they both have one, but he has a Champions League and he's got some awards.
Yeah.
He's got
look at the pain that we've gone through to get to this point. It's not like this is his first season. He's come into the job and here we are 29 games later. Wow. We finished in 8th position a couple of times, lost out on finals. Shot ourselves in the foot along the way. 3/4 of the fan base wanted his head on a platter. It hasn't been plain sailing, but we have to take our hats off to the ownership for not getting into a knee-jerk reaction and doing a Tottenham or a Chelsea.
Indeed. And I saw before we went live here that Brendan Rodgers has been sacked as well from Leicester City. So that's news, right?
I've got a feeling there was probably, if there's a percentage in that, there's probably a higher percentage of him telling them to get stuffed than them saying, can you clear your desk?
Our cycle, if we get a Premier League, at least one Premier League and a Champions League and a couple of cups, that would not be bad in 4 or 5 years if that's going to be our cycle. We need to take our chances on Sunday. Newcastle City, Liverpool, Brighton, the last toughest hurdles. Again, BX, I think we've been building up to this all through the season. Our rivals, we are going to destroy Man City hearts again if we win at Anfield. This is the one where Man City are like, we can win at Southampton and wait for Arsenal to falter on Sunday, and we can't give them a reason. We have to give City a reason to concentrate on the Champions League, the Bayern Munich. Yes, really, we have lost all games with Paul Tierney as a ref. I voiced that a little bit earlier to Sam, and Sam was like, we can't continually hold the ref. I think Gary was saying that as well. We can't
I mean, it's 2 games against United and City. Not United and City. United and
Everton.
who was it? I was just looking at that because I was trying to. Yeah, we lost 2 games with him at United. Yeah, United and City. We have him refereeing United and City in one of those. Yeah, so. And the City match, I don't even know if that had anything to do with their referee. I mean, we didn't have a strong. We didn't have our starting 11, which seems to be the only way we're going to play. And when we go to our bench, we always struggle. So I don't think you can't say the referee is the reason why. And we gave a goal to their defender.
Don't let Russ Morgan know that. Gary.
No, but I mean, he's not here. But I don't think we lost to City in that cup game because the referee was having a bad day. Nobody else is telling me on this panel. That's what I'm.
No,
nobody's saying that.
The narrative is always this. First, it was Arsenal ain't making top 4, and these are the pundits saying this. Roy Keane said this. Gary Neville said this, but you'd expect that from Manchester United, right? Then it was you haven't played anyone. Then it's only December. Then it was just wait until you get injuries. Now it's you better win the league. LOL. We are in the league race title. We're in the race for the title. Klopp is 1 out of 5 in Champions League finals.
This means he's been to 5 of them, which means he's not as bad of a coach. So if we're going to compare Klopp to Arteta, he makes it to the finals, and he's won one. So I don't know.
Tony thinking how he can start to wind up Alonso. Yeah, Alonso, don't fall for it. They're saying Rodgers for the U.S. men's national team.
Oh no.
Stan, the last time we played them at Anfield, this was the team: Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tavares on the left back position, Sambi Lokonga alongside Partey, Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. And
well, that's your problem right there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? As you reel out them names, you got Lacazette in there, you got Aubameyang in there, you got Lokonga in there, you got Tavares in there. Which you would have to say that if you're looking at the team top down and you're sort of like putting our current team next to it and you're looking, they're the first 4, isn't it? That you're saying, well, they got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tavares, Sambi, Lacazette.
That's almost half the team, right?
Yeah.
That's almost
four
half the team.
Four of the 10 outfield players.
And experienced ones as well, aren't they? They're not like they're youngsters from the academy. You got Aubameyang and Lacazette in there, who between them that's like 500 years old.
I'm gonna hold my hands up and say I got on the Tavares train last season.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? I know, I remember that.
And Gary called me out on it, and he was right. But that train stopped at Anfield for Nuno.
You didn't. Turns out you was riding the train, but you didn't have a ticket to get off.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we played them, this is Liverpool. I got the wrong game here.
Last time we played them, we played a good game for about 35 minutes.
And then what happened, right? The first thing that happened was Aubameyang decided to put in a tackle. They got a free kick, and then they scored off of it. And then Arteta decides to go mano a mano with Klopp, which
that didn't work at all, did it?
No, you're Arteta. You can't do this in your third year of coaching.
That gave them a 12th man when he done that. It was like, fucking, what are you doing? This. As I said earlier, you've got to score early and keep the crowd quiet. You don't want to GM up at Anfield. If we score early, they'll be like, oh. And while they're going, like that, and there's that silence, you score another one.
It was definitely the wrong thing to do, but I understand the sentiment behind it.
He is not that type of a manager. His team isn't backing him up. They don't back him up. They just play the way he asked them to play, and then he's set.
Learning
and
curve.
he's not. They're not one. They're not that seasoned, right? They're not these veterans that they understand where the manager's going.
We're getting there.
Arteta going crazy is like Xhaka going crazy. We don't want to see it unless it's unless it's a little bit more controlled. That wasn't
Interesting.
controlled.
Yeah.
Learning curve, isn't it? It's a
So,
learning curve, right?
so
Before he had the speakers with you'll never walk alone and probably early to bed. Now he's probably got like a best of Ibiza hits, chill out CD
all right.
playing,
So
and probably take them all out for a beer and a curry the night before the match. Make it
Stan,
feel relaxed.
from the last podcast, I think on Sunday, I'm remembering Arteta chasing Granit Xhaka at White Hart
Steve
Lane.
Austin, wasn't he? $6 million man.
Do we need something? Do we need the opposite to happen at Anfield? Xhaka to control Arteta and be like, okay, boss, I realize you might get a little bit heated here, but you got to keep your cool. Look at me all season. I've been doing it now. You've got 90 minutes to do it.
Yeah, we've got Albert, isn't it? What's his name? Is that the backup coach? Albert will probably
AirPod Albert. Yeah,
he'll be able to keep an eye on him. But I do think that sometimes in the bigger games, there's been a couple of occasions during Mikel Arteta's tenure as the manager that he's overthunk it, if that's even a word, overthought it. And there was a time, one of the matches against Man City, you could tell he'd been up all night, scratching his head, walked straight in the morning, and whatever they had up on the sheet that they'd been working on, he just ripped it up and goes, right, we're doing this. Forget that, we're doing this. It came to me last night. Sometimes he has a little bit of, trying to be too cool for school with the big games. Maybe I'm hoping that he's learned now that he can just trust the way that we play. You don't have to think, oh, we're going to go for Anfield. I know, we'll just switch to 5 at the back and try something. What? Have that as a backup. But go with what's got you to where we've gotten to. Believe in your players because they believe in you.
I think he's found his groove. There was a couple of weird things with Willian. I think it was a false 9 with Willian. Way back.
ESR,
he's doing this crazy stuff in the biggest games that he's got at in a stretch of games. It's like, what? No, just play. We're not sitting here because we've done anything crazy. We've done
hopefully
nothing
that's out
crazy.
of his system, isn't it, though, Gary? Hopefully all that was in the past when we finished 8th. He's not going to pull something like that out of the bag on Sunday.
No.
That'd be like, what?
No. We've got a pattern of play. We've got a style of play now that's set, and provided that we're confident on the ball and are progressive and feel brave with the ball, and that Anfield doesn't make us go into our shell a little bit, there will be periods of the game where Liverpool will be on top, and we need to weather that. But Alonso, will you be watching Mikel Arteta on the sideline? Trying to keep his cool because the crowd are going to key off Mikel Arteta. Let's not forget, this is a Manchester City link. He used to be a coach for Manchester City, and they're going to seize on anything Arteta does.
I'm not going to watch Arteta because this team has been too fun not to be watching. I'm only watching for the midfield and how Partey can control it. Salah is still a danger, in my opinion, for Liverpool. So it'd be interesting to see how. I'm going to be watching how Zinchenko can manage him, or whomever it may be. Van White, right? Is that who plays on the left? Right. Who will be marking? Who will be marking? Salah will be Van White, right?
Salah will be left back. He'll be a Zinchenko.
Right. So it'd be important for Zinchenko, I think, to be more defensively in this game because you know how liability he could be playing midfield. That's why I kind of favor in this game for Tierney to play than Zinchenko.
I mean, it's very tempting to try and do that, but I think we've seen all season Zinchenko has made that left back spot his own. And what we're going to try and do, I think, is and correct me if you think I'm wrong, any of you four, I think we're going to try and push Salah back to defend Zinchenko rather than the other way around, rather than Salah attacking Zinchenko.
That would
It's just
be
a bit attack by us, probably.
All right, Alonso. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's important that, Zinchenko stay focused because, like I said, Salah's still a threat to score goals, and he's done it before against us. So this is a different team, and we need to have goals to beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Mhm.
That should be that should be their mindset, and not only just beat them but punish them as well. And Zinchenko's a big part of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get the Zinchenko fear, but the midfield for us is where we win it, right?
Right.
They don't have a midfield that keeps up with ours anyway. So if our midfield is dominating the game like we expect it to, like it's done for us most games, Zinchenko hopefully is the only reason why we're talking about him is because he's pushing the ball up and putting the ball in some good spaces for our midfield to under and we get that early score. I don't think you're going to change Zinchenko and make him more defensive. I don't see that because that's just
No.
not the way
If
he
you
plays.
if you want to defend, you play Tierney.
Yeah,
And Zinchenko sits on the
Yeah.
bench.
Or you play both of
You'll
them.
probably see Tierney come on at some point, right? Now that we've got the 5 substitutions, he does that sometimes, doesn't he? Near the
Yeah.
end of the game.
Sure.
he'll bring
If we're in
Tierney
a position, if we're in a position late in the game where it's too open, Zinchenko's losing the ball continually, then
But-
I think we could see Kieran
But
Tierney.
see, that's why, like, Ray, you asked me if I'm going to watch for Arteta. But honestly, like Gary had said, I'm going to be watching midfield and see how Hardy and Xhaka and Odegaard control it. Because we all know what Odegaard is capable of doing, and Hardy as well, and Xhaka, well, he's been more of a goal threat lately, so hopefully he could play defensively, not lose his mind like he has before during the
Yeah.
games and other big games as well.
Yeah, I think the key to this game will be keeping the crowd quiet because we're holding the ball and we have a lot of touches in midfield and we're popping the ball past to Henderson, past Fabinho, around Salah, and they're not being an impact at all. Reddy said Henderson will be in the ref's face all the time, as he often does. Listen, that's part of the game. You try to influence the referee to give you decisions. Hopefully our play can overcome that because there will be some kind of a slight home advantage to that. Man to man, we should be overrunning their midfield. Tom the Road said we used Tomiyasu, a left back, to deal with Salah threat at the Emirates. Liverpool have an advantage there. Yeah, and there's no Tomiyasu now to even think that could be a ploy that we're going to use. I hope Liverpool try to attack us. We will cut them open. A true Thunder. And then Don Juan goes on to say, I dare Liverpool to play that high line against Saka and Martinelli. We're going to have some opportunities against this defense, Tony. I think Liverpool have not conceded more goals than usual. The issue with Liverpool is they have not been scoring as many goals as they usually do.
And kind of opposite of the way we've started this since the break. We've been scoring a lot more goals than we were and allowing more goals than we were. So it balances out because more goals beats allowing more goals in. So I don't think you have to worry about Zinchenko. To me, do you call him an inverted fullback?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you call him in swinging midfielder? I don't know.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying, Ray, but Liverpool gave up 26 goals last year.
Okay.
They're already at 33. They're already at
33 is not that much more.
33,
right?
and we still have 9 games to go, and they have to play Arsenal.
Okay, that's fair.
So they've scored 94 last season. They only scored 40. They're not going to score 50 goals in 9 games. So they're going to be. They are not the same team. We are much better than So there's a lot of things going our way. There's just history going their way. That's it. The only thing going their way is some history that these players should not even have to be concerned with.
What I saw against City last weekend was Liverpool playing for 50 minutes and they threw in the towel against Man City. That used to be Arsenal 3 years ago, 3 years ago. We would play well for 50 minutes and then capitulate. We're a much better team now. We play 90 minutes.
Yeah, we've got a team that goes to, as I say, we come back from behind, we play to the full 90, we get goals right at the end. Everything that you want from this team, we are doing. As somebody, as you said a moment ago, the only thing that I think it was Gary, the only thing that Liverpool have coming into this game is history. And history changes. The wheel has turned. I call it the wheel. The wheel has turned, and it seems to be in our favour at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. The last time we played them at Anfield, 4-0 defeat. I don't see that happening, Gary, on Sunday. I don't see us.
And once again, we look at those lineups and we're like, that was a lineup we put up to go play at Anfield.
Hmm.
Nah, I mean, Aubameyang is Lacazette, Lokonga, Nuno Tavares. I mean, not where we needed to, not where we want to go, right? In terms of where Arsenal wanted to be, those players aren't part of that journey. So
those are the players. Those are the players that made Mikel Arteta hoarse when he was shouting at Nuno Tavares, "Do you want to play in the Champions League?" He was hoarse in that documentary.
I mean,
these are the players that got us to fifth.
Yeah, no. We keep saying it. This is not the same team.
Yeah.
We are mentally in a better space. Even injuries aside, anytime we have an injury, we always have somebody step up, right? So, we're going to come into this game as healthy as we've been in probably many a year playing Liverpool on the road, right? We're down one player, but we've got 10 players around him, that are really good, and we've got we've got players coming off the bench that will help with an attack on a tired Liverpool side, right? You think about if Trossard or Martinelli doesn't start, one of them will come on. Nelson, I think, is healthy. Emil Sufro, I think, can get minutes. I mean, those are all players that if we need to put the game away, can do it. All right, so
it's a little bit unfortunate. There's going to be one player, if it's Jesus, Martinelli, or Trossard, they're going to have to sit on the bench and be chomping at the bit to be probably one of the first substitutes to come in. Because there's only 3 positions up front. Odegaard and probably Granit Xhaka will play.
Unless the man overthinks it and goes, you know what?
No,
this is the time. This is the time. Xhaka, you have to sit. I will surprise everybody in the stands. All the Arsenal fans will faint. Xhaka won't start, and he'll play all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Remember that, right?
Bouncing down my street with one leg.
Stan?
Wolves beat them 3-0. Brighton beat them 2-1. You know what I mean? Brighton also beat 3-0 as well.
These are away from home. These results were away from home, right?
We're better than these teams.
Yeah. They drew to Brighton, 3-3. They drew at home to Chelsea. They drew to Chelsea twice in the last couple of months, 0-0. And they also drew to Palace, Crystal Palace, very early in the season.
So they drew to Chelsea at home, right?
Yes. In a dead rubber game.
We are much better than Chelsea.
Yep.
Much better than Chelsea, right?
Yep.
And we're not 2 goals worse than City when we played them. So we have too many things on our side, right? As far as pros go, not enough cons to basically worry us. We should feel confident. We should feel confident going into that game. The players should feel confident going into that game.
Let's talk about Rob Holding, because that's what many people will seize upon, right? The weakest link. As Stan said, he's going to have players around him that's going to help him through the game. Not that he's going to be a headless chicken, because our memories of Rob Holding, Gary, our memories of Rob Holding are that North London derby last season when he didn't have a great team around him, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The whole point is that he is a seasoned veteran. That was the whole thing. That's one of the reasons why he's in the squad.
Mhm.
So then to turn around and go, well, he lost his head in a big game when we needed him, goes against the reason why he's on the squad. So which one is it? He's on the squad because he's got experience playing in this league. All right. He's played against these teams, home and away. So there's no excuse for that. He didn't need to lose his head. He needed to play within himself, and that's what he's going to have to do again. If he tried, like I said, when he played City, I think he was trying to go mano a mano with Haaland.
Mhm.
Silly, not worth it.
Well, we kept them scoreless. We didn't.
Not
We
worth it.
lost the
It's
game
not.
1-0.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because it's not worth it. If he's playing City on the road and he does that thing in Etihad, it
Hmm.
won't work out the same way as it did in a cup
Yeah,
game
for,
when
for
they
my
weren't
liking,
even when they weren't
yeah,
even playing their strongest 11. So
for my
they,
liking, he was rolling the dice a little bit too much in that game.
it's a risk
Yeah,
he doesn't need to take, and
yeah,
a seasoned veteran doesn't need to do that.
yeah,
Right? Him staying mentally staying in the game is what we need. He
yeah.
cannot take risks. We can't take these risks, and older players know this, right? That's
Mm.
why Milner has lasted as long as he could. He doesn't take the unnecessary risks that put him in situations where you're like, that's why we don't play him, right?
Yeah.
That's why we kind of like marvel at him, is because he doesn't do that. Seasoned players with years on their belt don't do that.
Gary, Tony, what do you think? Rob Holding.
I always see him as a liability. Seeing it last season before, getting red cards. He has to play with a strong player on the right. I don't know if White running forward's the best thing for him. Having Odegaard drop back there earlier in the season. Saka was dropping back there to help protect there, but that was keeping him from scoring. Now he's gone towards the goal. So that kind of leaves Holding on an island. You see him away. We were playing last weekend, playing with Gabriel away, hugging the left, Holding almost straight in the middle, and White dropping back a little bit as kind of like a back three, or
Yeah.
actually his Party dropping back. Sorry, Party was
When
dropping back.
Zinchenko, when Zinchenko goes forward, right? Yeah. Don Juan said Cedric and Lukonga started that North London derby last season. Holding had no cover. Now we have Partey, White, Gabriel, Mega Legs to cover for Holding now. And just a quick note from Stefan here. John Lydon, Arsenal fan, lost his wife a few hours ago. Rest in peace, Nora. So that's quite sad. Johnny Lydon.
Is that John Lydon from the Sex Pistols and Public Image?
Yeah, the Sex Pistols. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We keep going back and forward. Yes, Liverpool drew Chelsea at Anfield, but they also beat Man United there 7-0. It's going to be a battle. I'm worried about their counter and having someone like Salah. Thunder Road, I definitely agree with you, but I don't think we're going to see a 7-0 again. Liverpool are dangerous at home. We just have to respect our opponent, go in there, play a clean, quiet game where Mikel Arteta is so apologetic to everybody, and we get out of there and say thank you very much for 3 points, right? That's how I see it going.
We don't have to say thank you, Ray. Just take the points and run.
As I said in the description of the show, Tony, they're down on the ground. Liverpool are down on the ground.
In the mud.
They're holding the points with one hand. We just need to put our foot on that hand and take those 3 points from them. You know what I mean? They are not playing well. And most normal Liverpool fans and fan channels feel it's going to be difficult for them to get a win at Anfield.
Also, just talking about our defence, right? I mean, when was the last time that Rob Holding was coming into a team that's battling for the league? His game is going to be raised,
Never.
There's a lot at stake, He doesn't want to be the one to let down a club. But a question that I have is, I've seen many teams back in the day field two central defenders that are right-footed. it's only recently that having a left-footed centre back is considered, a bit of a luxury to have. So if that's been the case, why can't we have two left-footed centre backs for cover? What is like if Rob Holding is so bad, why couldn't you play a Gabriel and a Kivior or a Gabriel and a Tierney? Just putting it out there as a devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know why?
I'm
Because
happy with Rob Holding.
Yeah.
People seem to forget we went like 10 years with two right-footed center backs.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Gabriel came in that we actually had to left-footed.
Why can't we play with two left? I'm just putting it out there. Why can't we play with two?
I agree with you.
Is it that bad? Is will that totally wreck football?
Yeah. The problem is
Arteta. Football as we know it. Yes.
The problem is Arteta hasn't shown via his rotation that he's willing to do that. So
no, I mean he's just
it's not going to happen today, and until we see it the one time, we'll never see it again. You know what I mean? Like it's one
he's
of those
happy
things
to put a midfielder in at left back.
He is. Well, you know what? Does he take that risk anymore?
No.
Right? He once again he's learned from his mistakes in the past, but he won't. Like for example, how many center backs did we have coming into this season?
I mean, why couldn't you
we had three. We had three center backs. No, think about it. We had three center backs coming into this season. If Ben White is sitting on the outside, right? So we didn't even have cover at our center backs to start the season, and we never ever rotated them in such a way that you would go, you know what? Maybe Ben White, maybe Tierney can play in those positions. We never did it, right? Because with the slight chance and the luck that none of these players would lose games, right? That's a risk to me. Arteta probably doesn't see it that way. That's a risk to not even rotate your players so that just in case you need to use a Tierney or a Ben White, you have the opportunity to do it, right? Because Tierney can play
to left centre. You could move him to right centre back and slot Tierney in at left centre back or Kivior. So then he must have faith in Holding, right?
More than Tierney.
Yeah, Holding can play football.
But more than Tierney.
Yeah, Holding can play football. I want to shout out.
But more than Tierney.
More than Tierney.
Can we say that with a straight face?
Right?
That Tierney is a worse backup center back than Holding.
That's what I'm saying, right? He plays kind of as a left centre back. You're
going to play Tierney as a right centre back? That's not going to happen either.
Is Tierney a better center back than Holding?
No, not in the right sided play position. Maybe.
What difference does it make? Where you think it actually makes a difference?
Yeah.
Why can't you move Megalegs to the right? Move Megalegs over into Saliba's place and put someone in. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there. Is it?
There are answers, but I just don't. For me, I believe Tierney's a better center back than Holding.
Okay, so here's the question then, Gary. If it was you then in charge for this game, would you field Megalegs and Holding, or would you do something like what I've said? Because you think that Tierney's a better footballer? Would you put?
He would have already played there this season. You know why? Because we were already light there, and we weren't going to play Tierney if Zinchenko's healthy. At some point, it got to where we were like, "Where is Tierney? When are we going to see Tierney?" And then the question was, how is our center back pairing going to last? Remember those discussions? Margulies never missed a game. He played in the cup games and he played in the Premier League, right? He played in, so at some point you got to look at that and go, the numbers don't add up. At some point you're going to need to make changes of your center backs, and we never did. And now we're forced to, when in reality Tierney could have rotated in and we could have tried something to see how things go. So we're not in a situation going, you know what? Holding's the only guy that can do it.
Want to give a shout out to Jack Mack at Anfield Road TV. I was watching you a little bit earlier, Jack. So interesting dialogue about the game. We are fact boys. Other shambles this year. We are. Hope we score a hat trick of OGs, because I think that's probably the only way they feel they're going to score against us. Hope you're all doing well. I'm so happy for you this season. Been a joy to watch. Listen, there are Liverpool fans out there who do prefer Arsenal to win this thing over City. I can't understand it the other way around. You want the plastic, you know, club run by a country to win the Premier League. Our mascot could do a job against Trent if he plays. So I know a lot of Arsenal fans are warming their hands and rubbing their hands together at the thought of Martinelli, our top goal scorer, going after Trent. On the road side, I think of Tierney as more of a 3 in the back centre back, like he is for Scotland. Yeah, versus a back 4 centre back. I think we're thinking that way as well down the road because Zinchenko, so much of the time when we're in possession, he goes into midfield. You know what I mean? BX said Kivior is supposedly our fastest player. And I think we'll see more of Kivior next season, to be honest. Tierney, Gabriel makes sense. So, you know, some people in chat are agreeing. Gabby and Holding, why change the structure of our defense?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, they're maybe developing that understanding, which is going to be important as well. You know,
One's already in the shop window. Though.
I mean, also as well, if you're Holding and you're seeing the injuries, and then you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get an opportunity here, and he picks like a Tierney, or he picks who else did I say? Kivior. You'd be thinking to yourself, well, what am I even doing here? Where am I in the pecking order? Am I like 7th? Am I like? Is it like everybody else? Then the defenders in the academy, then me. Is that where I am? So you have to show faith in. You have to show faith in him, and unless he's a fucking car crash, you know, and it's going to cost us, you know, in another game, the league, then maybe you have to break the glass and do something a bit different. But I'm sure he's capable.
I think Stephen in the next comment has it right here. Don Juan, this is probably very true. It's the London Liverpool fans who want City to win. Real Liverpool fans know the deal, you know, and they're living closer to Manchester. Stephen's here. This is correct. We change nothing for this match. Zinchenko starts, and we continue with playing our game and take it to them. Let them make the adjustments if they want. And I think that's the way we're going to. I was laughing a little bit earlier when
Trossard has to start, surely.
When you were all talking about Granit Xhaka playing left back, I had that image of Arteta chasing Xhaka again at White Hart. No, don't do that. Get back up there. As far away.
I want someone to do that. I want someone to do the gif of him running, but he's holding a big net.
Yeah. He's playing in goals. He can't be worse than Tavares was, you know. Yeah, so listen, we talked about the permutations at the back to cover a Holding, but I think you have to also have trust in Holding and what he can do if I'm Arteta. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're saying
at the risk of making
I don't think we're saying we're going to see a change this weekend. It's just one of these things where the fear that
fear
he struggles, and then we're like, what? You know, and we're like, you know, this is why we have this fear, is that, you know, we do have answers that we just never seen. But in reality, yeah, Holding will play, and he's got Gabriel on one side, he's got Zinchenko, hopefully, to get him through this thing, because he's going to need it. And he's seen this before. He knows what it is, what it is like when the fullback leaves him, right? It will not be a surprise. Right? When Zinchenko,
Bellerin,
Holding. Like, people talk about Holding, and then, you know, it doesn't work because he doesn't have cover from Zinchenko, and it's like he knows that probably is part of this game. So
think about it.
He has to be prepared for that. It's not something new, right?
So think about it. He's got Ben White beside him. He's got Gabriel Magalhaes beside him.
Oh, Ben White.
He's got Partey in front of him.
So when they move forward, he's going to know this is how it works. This is how I have to put myself in the best situation. So I got the wrong side, but it can't be a surprise. And like he loses his head, he can't lose his head. This is the way we play.
I think Darwin Nunez will be the player that he's marking. And I don't think Darwin can take him to the midfield like Son could do.
I got a question for you and Stan, right?
Go for it, Tony. And Alonso and Gary.
Well, Alonso too, but those two have been fans
Not
longer.
Gary.
Is why I was asking.
He's not even saying Gary. Geez, what did I do to you?
Is this a 20-fan circle?
But when's the last time you remember a center back routinely coming on to shut up shop?
You mean like
For
a
Arsenal.
closer?
Holding's the only one that does that.
A closer. David O'Leary, maybe in '89. He did it for about 10 games toward the end of the '89
That's what
season.
I'm saying. I can't think of it in my lifetime. I can't remember.
We played three at the back at Anfield in 1989 with Bold, Adams, and David O'Leary in the middle. And that was something that caught Kenny Dalglish off guard. Alonso?
I wanted the Rob Holding that played in that 2017 FA Cup final against Chelsea.
Yeah.
He was magnificent in that game, and he came on, and he was a freshman center back, and he wasn't scared at all. He wasn't intimidated by Chelsea. That's what Rob Holding I want to see against Liverpool. And that's the season if that's the case.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say it, Alonso, Don Juan leaves a message here as well. I believe Holding started in 2 FA Cup finals. We won them both. That North London derby shouldn't define Rob Holding.
I agree.
He needs to make more memories, Don Juan. The memory is a red card against Son, and we didn't make Champions League because of it. If Holding does some good things and we close out and win this league, we can maybe forget about that red card, because recency bias and our recent memory of Rob Holding sort of guides what we think.
Know, right?
Yeah. Like Andy Linnigan in the FA Cup final in 1993. Wasn't the best defender, but he won the cup for us at the end, in 1993. So, yeah, that's Rob Holding. Liverpool's midfield will probably be Henderson, Fabinho, and probably Elliott, one of the younger players. But we should have enough. Tony, we should have enough. Tony, we should have enough to get past that midfield. I was queuing you up and then you started coughing.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get over pneumonia that turned into bronchitis. I keep having coughing fits every once in a while, but that's all right.
I gotta give you and Alonso the minutes as well,
Yeah, right. Gary and Stan, I was part of the conversation, man.
I'm going to you next, Alonso.
This is the Gary and Stan podcast circle. So,
hey, be careful or you're going to get a yellow card.
I don't care.
Hey, look, I can see Spider-Man raising up for yellow.
All right, go ahead, Ray.
Alonso, you want to take that question? Our midfield, we've got Partey in there, Odegaard, Granit Xhaka. Should be more than enough for Fabinho, Henderson, and Elliott. Liverpool fans, they don't know what's happened to Fabinho this season.
Well, we don't know what happened to Xhaka either. He's scoring goals all of a sudden, and I think it's important to have that, camaraderie between the three of them. I think they played an important part this year. I think Partey's finally healthy. I think Odegaard's surpassed what all of us thought he would become. And Xhaka's all of a sudden getting deep in the offensive zone, getting assists and goals. And it's been a major part of the way Arsenal have been playing and the way they've been winning. So, yeah, I think that when we had youngsters who are hungry, even Xhaka has a point to prove too, that, our biggest fear was, can Partey stay healthy? And will Odegaard's captain armband be too much for him? And will Xhaka bounce back or become better? And they've all answered those questions. And like I mentioned in the chat earlier last summer, before the season started, how funny will it be if Granit Xhaka won the league? And we all doubted him from the beginning. And you see him now, and the transformation has been incredible. And it kind of feeds off the team, too. You see other players around him getting better, and it's quite been a pleasure to watch them all grow. Yeah. And seeing the youngsters get better, too. And
I think when you have Odegaard being named captain as young as he is, and I think at the end of the day he'll become a legend at Arsenal. And it's pretty unique.
Yeah. When we win the league, and hopefully we do, and Granit Xhaka hosts that trophy, I want to get Tony's take first.
As long as he doesn't pick up the wrong part of it.
Yeah. Granit Xhaka has been really good this season, and I used to have a formula for Granit Xhaka, Gary. After a certain amount of games, it would produce a yellow or red card. We're not seeing that this season at all. But Anfield is the place, right?
He's not playing central midfield, right?
True.
When you're constantly an attacking third, you don't have to worry about yellows.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of your numbers have not been an issue this year, so it's been a good year for your numbers not coming through.
Yeah.
Right, parts of the number not coming through.
I like
we'll
easy
take that.
math.
So yeah.
I like easy math. You know what I mean?
We sure screwed up your 75, right? Sorry.
Yeah. Look, I'll put that up here. You know what I mean? 23 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses, 70 goals. So we've probably got a goal for every point that we have right now. What?
96%. Said 96% of the way there, right?
We're almost there, and so hopefully on Sunday we can celebrate hitting the 75-point mark.
I don't think anybody is going to be celebrating that except for you, Ray.
We'll be celebrating that we got 75 points.
Oh, you're going to be eating chocolate bunnies.
We'll be celebrating that we got 75 points.
Yeah, he just wants to debunk me.
You'll be celebrating that we got 75 points, so stop it.
Yeah. Listen,
you will.
There's 27 points left, right?
We have 9 games left, 27. We could get 99 points.
How many games are left? Is it 9?
9.
27 points.
And 72.
So to hit that magic number of 95, then we would need
2 draws.
How many of those points do we need? Of the 27 available?
23.
23.
So we could do 2 draws and win the rest. You know what I mean?
Or a loss on a draw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a loss and a draw, depending who we would lose to, right?
It doesn't matter who we lose to.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does. If we lose to City,
right? 95 points. That's
well, if we win everything else, we get points in every other game. We only drop 1 more game after that. We still win the league.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
We're not 4 points behind. We're 5. Or sorry, we're not.
Easy math,
we'll
right?
be 5 points. So we'll win by 2 points, no matter what
Got
happens.
It. So of
Yes,
the 9 remaining games, how many do we need to win?
7.
Is that doable?
Right?
It's like 6.5, isn't it? Something like that.
6.5.
It could be doable.
22 points would do it, right? Depending on goal difference.
I mean, our toughest games are Liverpool, City, Newcastle, and then
I thought Gary
Chelsea
said
and
23
somebody else.
points, no?
Oh, I haven't said any numbers, but not 23 we win the league.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's 27 up for grabs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we have 72 right now.
It's doable, right? I mean,
Yes,
looking at our form, how we've been playing since day one, you have to remember, as I keep saying, it's not a case where, we were in 6th place and then after some games we got into 5th. Then after some game, we got into 3rd. And now we're in 1st place with only like a point ahead. We've been setting the pace. What can happen? Burnout. Everyone's been getting rest. We're not in any other competitions. One game.
You know what? I think we're coming into this part of the season, and it's going to be a tricky April. But I think these are tests that we need to face up to, and they're tests that are going to keep us on our toes. Going to Liverpool, going away to West Ham. David Moyes almost being fired. He's probably going to be sacked soon. Southampton at home will be tricky. They'll be fighting for their lives, and Tony knows all about Easter Sunday last year. Tony, have you been working out?
There's only 2 points in goal difference. 2 goals, I mean.
I know, yeah. Two goals in goal difference. They've scored one more and conceded one less. Tony, have you been working out?
A little bit.
Draw and a loss is no good. City win on
I
goal
got a
difference.
comment for you, Ray.
Yeah, go for it.
I just picture you as Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, sitting there while the professor's gone. You're just scribbling like mad on the chalkboard outside the math class, perfecting your math.
Yeah, you know what it says? It says 94 points and we win the league, right? Because, the City will drop points. City are not going to win every game, right?
Hopefully.
I think in the last few seasons, they've dropped some points. A couple of draws here, maybe a defeat there. Tony doing too much wrestling, podcast skipping his cricket lessons.
Yeah,
All right.
but again, though, when they dropped those points, they didn't have like a T1000 robot from the future playing for them. So who knows what's gonna? We don't know. If this guy's gonna come alive more towards the end of the season, whether he burns out, whether he picks up a knock. We've not seen this guy before, and it's amazing, right? With that 2 goal difference that we have. And you think of when this season started, it was like every other week. Haaland's got a hat trick. Haaland's got another one. He's got a bloody another hat trick. It was just on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And we're only 2 goals difference.
Doesn't it seem
we
like
don't have a Haaland? We ain't got a Haaland, right? And
doesn't it seem like but doesn't it seem like Haaland was scoring all these goals in the first 2-3 months of the league, and you don't hear about him getting hat tricks anymore, other than Tottenham. The thing about this as well. How many goals has
he scored now in the league? How many goals has he scored in the league?
28, I believe.
How many?
28. Yeah.
It's no good though. If he dries up now, do you know what I mean? It's like it's all right getting all those hat tricks, but then there's games where maybe they need a goal and he doesn't put one up.
But you know what? The record is 42, I think, with Mo Salah. So we thought that he would break that record, but 28 league goals. He's still a little bit away. He's 14 away with 10 games left that they have.
He's capable, isn't he?
He's capable, but that's
whole game.
14 goals in the last 10 games might be tough as well. Tony's forearms get a good workout wheeling himself around. Yeah. Haaland, in the voice of Ivan Drago, I must break you. Yeah, so that's Haaland. Crazy thing is, though, like we've had a clear 5-point difference, Alonso, since the start of the World Cup. And we're still here sitting 5 points clear of City with 9 games to go,
Yeah, and that's what I think Kedia playing out front, some the games, and Trossard as well, and Jesus. So all in all, we've won different ways. We've won late. We've won with Reece Nelson scoring a great goal against Bournemouth. So we won games that we had unexpected scoring. Ben White scoring 2 goals, and then the season you had Megaleth scoring as well. Saliba. So all these goals have come from different areas of the pitch, and where we needed Gabriel Jesus scoring all the time, and he's been hurt. We've leaned on other players to pick up the slack. So it's been quite remarkable. Where before last season goals weren't scored as much, and it's been a really, really great sight to see, knowing that we could depend on other players to score other than Martinelli and Saka and Odegaard. It's been a great sight to see, knowing that we have also a great player in Trossard as well, scoring, giving out assists as well. So we made some good buys to complement that as well. So yeah,
What a great signing Leandro Trossard has been. We could not have foreseen the impact that he's had on the team, even knowing who he was for Brighton. I think he's just gone up to a new level with better players around him. You know what I mean?
Hey, you've been cheating on your math again.
Man, listen, man went to bed one night at Brighton, woke up the next
Keep
morning.
talking, Stan.
Woke up the next morning battling to win the Premier League. I mean, overnight, right?
Yeah.
It was like a summer thing where it was all drawn out and protracted. It just went down.
This is the kind of signing that Liverpool used to do back in the day. Pick up a player like Jota, maybe. Trossard is our Jota.
We've done it a few times now, haven't we? Right. I think if you look at Trossard, Jorginho, I bet Chelsea would like Jorginho back at the minute. Zinchenko, Gabriel.
I heard
those four that we've got there are quite canny, coming from within the league.
I heard Chelsea have to play training. They have one pitch, 11 versus 11, and they have another pitch, 9 versus 9. They've got that many players. Do the math. That's 40. That's 40 players on 2 pitches. And when they have a team talk, a lot of the players have to sit on the ground. They've got that many players.
Isn't that what they got in trouble for? Was having all those players?
I don't know.
All those young players, they got in trouble for.
Frank Lampard's got to face like Real Madrid, isn't he, next week? Good luck with that, mate. They just beat Barcelona 4-0 just yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea have no chance in the Champions League. No chance in hell. That's just hilarious. And they asked if Jesus can get 5 goals in 10 games. He's already bagged 2. So the minimum we wanted was 10 goals for Jesus, Gary. He's on 7 now.
Yep, nice hat trick on Sunday, and we'll be happy, and then they'll have it. So why not just get it? Why not just don't waste the trip and get it over with?
Get it done. Get it done. Exactly.
Get it done. Yeah, let's get the. No, it'd be nice to have I like to say an easy second half, because we are up by so many goals, and they don't want to threaten anymore, open themselves up for any more goals. That's what we need to be able to do. It needs to be as comfortable as that one game we had where I think we only won 2-0, but it didn't look like the other team was going to score on us. I forgot who that was. Why is my brain gone?
1-0 against Leicester City.
Was it Leicester? Okay. 1-0. Yeah. So we are good enough to be able to do that, but it takes discipline. So
yeah, that was probably one of our poorest games since Everton, but we did win 1-0, and we won in commanding style.
When you said that, you didn't say that was poor, did you?
I said that was one of our poorest games in terms of scoring, is what I was intending.
Yeah, but like when you dominate a team like that, you don't need to score. I mean, we've lost to City, giving up a goal in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we lost 1-0, and we never threatened.
Yeah, that's a few years ago.
Yeah. Guess who was the header on?
Sterling on Holding.
No, but I mean, but I just saying. So you can dominate a game by not. You don't have to score. It's just that the other team gets nothing, and we got nothing in that game, right? So we can do that. Where defense is good enough to do that. So why not?
Hope Ramsdale doesn't try to be too cheeky with his kicks and clearances on Sunday. Mudryk and Enzo had to get changed outside of the corridors. No room for them in the dressing room. This is probably real. Mudryk and Enzo. Real Madrid will make them suffer. I bet it's hard in the canteen to get some food as well. You got 40 people and coaches stand,
Yeah, 40 people, but I've only got 30 plates.
Sorry, Mudryk. Sorry. Maybe Mudrik's there first because he's the fastest. You know what I mean? All right, so Saka versus Robertson. This is going to be one of the key. Robertson's going to try to be physical. Alonso, I'll go to you. Robertson's going to try to be physical on Saka. Again, we've seen this all season, right?
I wouldn't doubt it, but I think Liverpool are just not good enough right now, so they're going to try to do everything they can to distract Saka's folks' style of play, and hopefully Saka will punish them. But I think that they'll have a plan for that. I think Odegaard and that left is too good for Saka not to do well against Robertson. So I think they have a plan for that. Hopefully.
Saka body Rice, Robertson ain't nothing. Gary, the last two games we started slow against Crystal Palace and Leeds. Took us about 25, 30 minutes to figure it out. I think something similar could happen in Anfield.
That's why it can't happen, because it's happened. We can't have. It's got to stop.
Isn't it a good thing though that they're figuring it out?
No, why? Why can't we play in the first 30 seconds of a game? Why are we falling asleep in the first 30 seconds of the game? No. That can't happen. You got to be on as soon as the whistle blows.
Okay,
So
maybe.
No, so for me, no.
Maybe they'll be aware of this, and maybe they will play.
Yeah, that's not something you can go. All right, we'll play well for 20 minutes, but the first minute we will be sleeping. Why? Because the same thing. We can score early, and good things will happen for us if we do.
Yeah.
Right. So why not get it out of the? Get that first goal in pretty quickly, and put pressure. I mean, we've been dominant in first 15 minutes of games with no scoring. We need to just put the goals in a little bit more, right? So for me, I don't like. Well, it'll be okay because we can dominate for 20 minutes.
What I like about it though is that the team is starting to figure things out on the field themselves. That's what I like about it. That they have that tactical nous to be able to change things, or even just like turn things around if they're not playing well. I feel more comfortable now if we're not playing well in the first 15 minutes that we will figure it out because I've seen it. You know what I mean? And they will score goals. I understand what you're saying. We need to come out of Liverpool. Maybe we don't need to be a goal or we can't be a goal or two down, going in at halftime. Stan, what's your thoughts on it?
No, I totally agree. I mean, I think we've got a manager now where we have that mentality where we don't give up in the middle of a game and think. I think so. We've had teams in the past and maybe managers in the past where the attitude has been, "Oh well, we tried to play our game today. It didn't go away. We'll make up for it next week." It's like, no, you keep going for 90 minutes. You might be able to scratch something out of the game. You don't just give up. We've also had players as well that didn't have competition. And Hector Bellerin is one that I will use an example where, when you don't have competition, you find yourself in the middle of a game having a bit of a stinker, and then you just concede to yourself, I'll make up. You con yourself. I'll make up for it. I'll play better next week because you're getting picked next week. You know that there's no other right back, for example, that can be picked. We don't have that now.
Is it harsh to say Trent is a little bit like Hector Bellerin in terms of no competition for his place? Do you know what I mean? And feeling entitled that he's going to play every week and not playing well.
That's that. Maybe that's just because the manager hasn't been putting somebody else in. I think they've got other right backs, maybe not as good as Trent. Whereas we had a situation where we didn't really even have a right back, right? And Hector Bellerin was playing mostly all of the time, sort of thing. And then maybe the other guy was injured. But with Trent, I'm looking forward to whoever's playing on our left hand side to try and get at him. Yeah, because he's not been having a good time of late. So
whether
you hone in on that weakness.
Yeah, whether it's going to be Martinelli or Trossard or even Jesus, I feel.
I still think that Trossard needs to start this game. When he played for Brighton, he went there and scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
That has to be something that's psychological with the manager and the team. And maybe by putting him in the team, it may make Liverpool try and set up in a different way because they're worried about that, which may then give us space somewhere. If that
And
makes any
he's
sense.
just so good at retaining and holding on to possession as well. I remember this one, Don Juan, our third goal against Liverpool.
But seriously though, right? Why
the
would you
Emirates.
not play a player? Has anyone got Gary? Why would you not play a player who went to their place and was able to score a hat trick with lesser players around him? Surely you'd be like, psychologically, they must be thinking, "I'm not him again. The nightmare. He's coming back."
So,
You know, you see him sat on the bench, you'd be like, "Oh, good. Oof,
So-
wow."
I'm
Surely
quite
you'd play him.
comfortable. I would be quite comfortable starting Trossard in the 9 in that position.
Where did he start for Brighton the day that he scored the
Well,
hat trick? What
it
position was
was-
he playing?
It was the left of a. It was the left side of a 2 behind the striker. I checked on that. You were talking about that. I checked on the formation. It was like a Christmas tree formation with 2 players playing behind the striker, and he played in the left half space. You know what I mean? The
He
goal
has
is
to start, surely. He's shown that he can do it at Liverpool. He's shown that he can operate with the crowd against that team, and he scores a hat trick. And he's coming off of the back of, being the assist master. I think it would be harsh for him to start on the bench.
yeah.
Start
think
him and have Gabriel ready to come on.
I think Gabriel Jesus did an hour on Saturday or Sunday last, so that he could be ready to be on the bench on Sunday. I think Trossard may play with Saka and Martinelli outside of him.
Would you start him? You two?
I-
Would you start him in the
Start-
team? And if so, who for?
I would start Trossard for Jesus. Jesus would be coming off the bench for me.
Gary?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. As I said, I don't think it matters who we start with those those 4 players. We're gonna have a strong
But
front
who
3.
would you start though? Would you
I
start
would have just.
Trossard? And if so, where?
I would have just. I mean,
Or
I
not?
felt like I would have started. I would have put Trossard. I would have had Trossard come off the bench because we've got our starting 3. That's what I would have done. So
I
if
just
we're, if we're
think-
if we're talking about keeping consistency in other areas of the pitch, then why wouldn't you want to do it there as well? I mean, I understand. I hear what you're saying in regards to, well, he's done a hat trick there, but he didn't come into. I mean, was he coming into the seat? A player? Not really, right? So, and Arteta has shown he doesn't make those
I would
changes, right?
I would like to see Trossard in that position, feeding Saka and Martinelli on the wings, and get us a foothold in the game. So on 70 minutes, we maybe have a lead. Then we
What
bring
about what
Jesus.
Misfit's saying? What about
That
what
was-
Misfit's saying there?
Then we bring Jesus on. You know what I mean?
What do
Yeah.
you think there, Misfit? What do you reckon to that?
Stephen has been saying this for a while. Yeah, the 1,000th time, in fact.
It's gamble,
Trossard-
isn't it? Gamble. I never thought I'd be saying it about Xhaka, but he brings a little bit of the mentality as well. He has been scoring.
The only thing
I
about
wonder
this,
whether if we lose something by taking Xhaka out.
the only thing about this
Can't believe I'm
is
saying this.
if you need, if it's not working and you need a goal, who do you bring on? Because
That's
you've already got Trossard on, Jesus, Martinelli, Erdegaard,
Got to start with Xhaka.
Saka.
You have Emil Smith Rowe and you have Nelson
probably say
on the
that,
bench.
never.
Yeah,
So
but
if
I
we're
just,
talking
they
about
haven't played
Yeah,
much,
but-
Gary.
but they're coming in with players with tired legs.
Yeah.
So that's one way you can handle that. Yes, it's not bringing in a Trossard or Martinelli coming off the bench, but you do have those players coming in, and Nelson has shown he can, if needed, he can put a shot on late in the game. And Middlesbrough Rowe has done it before. So they've both been in that situation and scored goals for us late in games. I don't think we're going to do it. That's why I kind of feel Trossard will come off the bench. With
It's
Arteta.
fun. It's fun for all of us to talk about this, but at the end of the day, I think we're comfortable with whoever's going to sit on the bench. That when they come on, they can give Liverpool another headache, another problem.
You guys, you were talking about bringing Trossard in for Xhaka, but Holding and Tierney is not a non-discussion. You know what I mean? Like they're both in the same boat. We're not going to change what we already have in certain situations. We know what Arteta is going to do.
Yeah.
So it's one
Um,
of those things. Like I said, it's a good problem to have because you can bring on one of them, and they will be rearing to go. They will be trying to
yeah.
make sure they don't lose their spot for the next match. So
So for me anyway, I would bring Trossard. Trossard would be on to play with Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, get ourselves hopefully a lead or not chasing the game.
Yep.
And in 65th, 70th minute, you bring Gabriel Jesus on, and you know Jesus is going to chase every lost cause on the planet. Don Juan would start Martinelli. Imagine Trossard coming on. Liverpool would crap themselves. If this happens, then you've got Trossard coming on, and we can hold on to the ball halfway through the second half. And we're not going to get transitioned on as much. Or if Liverpool need to, get a goal against us, really would start Jesus, Saka, Trossard with Martinelli coming on later against tired legs. Martinelli coming on against, it would probably end Trent, you know what I mean, at that point.
some are saying Trent might not even start because Gomez against Gabriel is a tougher matchup. So that's what I believe I heard on a show
Yeah.
today.
And
So
Gomez is the one who misplaced that ball for Leeds to score the first. So there's mistakes in Gomez's game as well. Don Juan, just please no more injuries in defense. Yeah, we're getting to that point where we're getting scratched. Our surface is getting scratched in defense.
May I just say as well, between Trossard and Gabriel, there's no huge drop off.
Trossard,
They are so close, I think, in
Yeah.
what they bring to the team and how they operate in the team. Whereas with Eddie, you can see that he's a different type of player when he plays in that position. He's a different style of player. But between Trossard and Gabriel, I don't see a huge drop off at all. I think it's very competitive. And I would probably go as far as to say maybe Martinelli and Trossard, there's not a lot between them either, which makes Trossard quite a valuable player for what we
I
paid
think
for him.
I think Trossard is a much more clever player than either of the two. He can find the pass, he can pop up, he can support where he needs. I think Jesus and Martinelli have strengths in other areas. VX Gunner is so anxious for a starting 11 announcement. I don't think you should be anxious. I don't think you should be anxious.
Isn't there? He's got so much variety.
True.
And you're at a stage now where you're looking at what they're doing in training now, and you're trying to think, right, which one is more ready to go? Because there's not much between them of what they can do technically, what they can bring me. You're trying to make that decision about which one is more ready to go. And that's what he's getting paid all those millions for, to make those decisions.
And it all depends on how Arteta wants to attack. Yeah.
Isn't it good though, to be like, I mean, let's just think about it, right? When we bought Gabriel Jesus after sort of like shedding Aubameyang and Lacazette, it was a breath of fresh air that we had something a little bit more vibrant through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And we started this season so well, and Gabriel looked like he was a leader on the pitch, and he was bringing us a lot of new stuff. But then that injury, I mean, it was just like, oh no, I can't believe, what are we going to do? But we still have. I mean, how long was he was out? He was out for ages, man.
It was 100 days.
We still didn't skip a beat. We didn't skip a beat.
Days. Yeah.
And we now have more tools at our disposal
3 months
than we did when we lost him, right? We've got a Reece Nelson that's putting in the shift when he comes in. ESR is back, and he can't be missed. He can't be. We know that he can come up with goals and assists. We've brought in Trossard. We've also brought in cover for Partey now. A good cover so far. I mean, we're laughing, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Trossard looks like a man on a mission. And this is the great thing. Mikel Arteta can look at this game and look at Liverpool's weaknesses and can come up with a plan of who he's going to start, and roughly, without injuries being an issue, who he can bring on in the second half as Liverpool tire or as they foresee the game to go. Now, of course, Liverpool are going to be on the other side trying to do the opposite thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. And there is more
Do you know how
said-
exciting this is, right? You know, as you know, the football over here can start quite early.
Mhm.
And I don't get up for the 4 o'clocks because it just ruins my whole day. So the next time would be like 7 o'clock. Like this game on Sunday for here would
7:30.
be 8:30
Yeah, 8:30. Yeah.
for me. But the 7 o'clock, that's quite early as well, right? And
Mhm.
I've got an opportunity if it's on Peacock to get up at a reasonable time, blank social media, get up and just watch it. But I'm enjoying. My missus is getting up at 7 o'clock with me.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like, you know, my missus has got drawn into Arsenal because of me.
She's on the bandwagon.
You know? She's been with me for 12 years, and she wasn't there when we were playing all the Wenger stuff and she's been there for all the rubbish. And I said to her the other day, when I used to, you know, I know you've seen like the videos and you've heard all about it, but like, could you believe that we were really this good? She goes, not really. But she's so invested now. She wants to get up and watch the games with me live because she's finding it exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that just shows you what Arsenal as a football, the sort of football that we're playing is drawing people in.
And maybe
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And maybe I should not compare eras, and it's difficult to do that. But I found myself a month ago comparing the Invincibles to this team. But this team has Granit Xhaka and Eddie Nketiah. But you know, the Invincibles had Stepanovs, I think it was. You know, we had players that weren't that great, but yeah, it is our time. It is our time. Trossard is better at everything over Xhaka. He has better ball control. He is quicker and has a better attacking brain, and he doesn't cost us goals like Xhaka has. At
It
least
makes no sense we
times.
haven't tried him there yet.
Listen, if Mikel Arteta told Xhaka he had to do this role this season, that tells me that Mikel Arteta knows the end is near for Granit Xhaka.
No,
Now
Maybe
is not
a
the time
couple
for
more
gambling.
seasons.
I don't think so. I mean, you just put him in a better situation. I mean, that's all he's done.
We're seeing
I
the
don't think it's-
transition slowly happening, aren't we? We're seeing Xhaka coming off with this, you know, and there's a good
It's slow.
with a good 20 minutes to go,
Yeah.
and he's been putting Teabag in there, so we know that he's open. He's open to putting somebody else in that. I got away with it, Gary didn't.
I'm ignoring you. What did you just say? I missed everything you said from the time you opened your mouth like a minute
You
ago.
can just do the symbol.
I looked away. I looked away. If you
I
didn't
thought I got
notice,
away with that one.
What's wrong with Teabag?
Notwithstanding, Tony.
Tony.
Notwithstanding.
Stop.
But you know, we've seen that he's open to that. But the thing is, again, I can't believe I'm saying it. Xhaka brings us this leadership thing on the pitch, and he is scoring goals. You know, yeah, we've seen him hesitate and some times when he's like hesitating, oh, what are you doing? But we're seeing that there is a transition is surely being made. It's slow, but it's being made. And now is not the time to just like sit him on the bench and put Trossard in. Because if it all goes wrong, do you know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? If you're not going to play Trossard in the positions that we know him for, then bring him off the bench. Now is not the time. Maybe next season we'll start seeing that, you know, through a pre-season and a chance to look at that. But now, not winning a league in 19 years and where we are now, there's no reason to disrupt it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. BX going to said biggest game of the season on Sunday. Huge mentality boost if we take all 3 points. But
we say it every week.
We've been doing this, right?
The biggest
Each
test.
and every game.
We say it every week.
He's just trying to make it a roller coaster.
Oh, it's Newcastle. They got all that money. Or you think of a reason. Oh, they got a new manager. It's Everton. New manager balance. It's always, you know, it's every next week.
It doesn't matter how bad they are either.
After Liverpool, we'd be like, oh, could be a banana skin with West Ham. David Moyes on the precipice could be our biggest game. We always find a reason for it to be the biggest game. But you're right. It is the biggest game because it's the next game.
Next game.
Well, not only that, everybody's expecting this undefeated run by City. So the only way it doesn't happen is if City loses. And so far they've won the last 5 or 6 matches in a row.
Now,
so that's the reason why it's always a big match for us, because we can't let up, because City isn't letting up right now. They have in parts of the season, but not right now. So.
Well,
Would you guys feel
Um,
safer? Would you like have felt safer if Liverpool hadn't given Man United that 7-0 hiding? Is that what's in the back of our minds? We're thinking, there's still something. You know what I mean? Had they not done that, would we be feeling more confident? Because I put my hand up and I'll say that 7-0, I was a bit like, oh, okay, fucking hell.
I still feel
don't poke them
confident
too hard.
because you 7-0s don't happen every week, and you get 7-0s because everything you try comes off. And I was watching it. Oh, it's 3, and I'm laughing because it's hilarious. It's hilarious because it's happening to Man United, you
Of
know,
course.
and Martinez, their small centre back. But yeah, it's 4, 5, 6, and then they get 7. You know, Bobby Firmino. But I think that was a bit of a fluke in terms of the scoreline.
You think so? You fluked 7 goals.
I mean, they've beaten Bournemouth 9-0 and they've beaten Man United 7-0 at home. If you take those 2 results away, they're
But
going.
you can't fluke the 7 goals.
No.
No, but that's where everything. Gary,
That's playing.
No, but
purpose,
you can't
man.
fluke 7 goals in the Premier League. I'm sorry.
that's
Come
where
on.
everything you try comes off.
I
That was
don't
a
think you can.
16-goal fluke.
David De Gea
Yeah,
is not a bad goalkeeper, is he? You know, look at
At
the
the
players in the team. I
extreme,
mean,
yeah.
you got players in the team that whether they're in form or out of form, they're good players. Luke Shaw, Varane. You know, remember what you might think of these players. These are good players. 7-0. 7-0.
Have
That
they
is-
been
that's
hanging on the
dangerous.
coattails? Have they been hanging on the coattails of Rashford a little bit this season, Man United? They won a cup beating Newcastle and Nottingham Forest.
and Newcastle was playing with, like, was it luck again? Because they had a lot of players missing, if I recall. They were down to their
Yeah.
third
The goalkeeper.
goalkeeper, who was like
Yep.
18 years old or something like that. He just
Yep.
got his driver's license or something like that. You know,
Did Man
so
United get a cheap cup?
so, but that's luck, right? It's just luck, right? Just like Arsenal's 29 games that we played, and we're top of the league. It's all luck. Nah,
It's fluke. It's a fluke, Gary.
fluke. All
Right now, with current form of all teams, if our next game, which would be the most dangerous, Liverpool or away or Man United away? Right now,
Right now, who would be the most dangerous?
It's
Oh,
Liverpool
that's a
away.
good question. Yeah.
Right now,
Good.
it's Liverpool away.
you
Yeah.
think?
But if we
Man
hadn't
United
played,
not
but if
playing
we had-
well,
yeah,
right? Man United not playing well.
Okay.
If we would go to Old Trafford on Sunday, I'd feel like we could get a result.
You'd feel more
easier.
confident then, because rather than
Yeah.
okay.
The whole thing that worries me, Stan, is
That's-
the what Liverpool can be, but also the crowd, that Anfield crowd, and it's going to be probably loud. It's at some point it's going to be loud in this game on Sunday, but that
Do you want
is
to know
also
where
a
they're at in
test.
the form table?
You sure can. If we have to go into the Champions League, we're going to have to play in intimidating atmospheres against good teams, and Liverpool at home are a good team with an intimidating atmosphere, right?
Ready
This
now,
is
Ray?
still Liverpool. Go ahead.
They're 15th and 17th in the form table.
They're 15th at home.
Just did a
they've
reset form table.
they've lost once at home. So and they're 15th, and in any form table at home, I think we've
didn't say
lost
just at
once
home.
at home,
Overall,
and
they're
I wouldn't consider us
15th.
like 14th.
They've won 9 games at home, Gary. They've beaten Newcastle. They've beaten Man United. They've beaten City. And they've beaten Leicester City with 2 own goals.
Yeah.
You know, they beat West Ham 1-0. A lot of them were lucky 1-0 wins because they were not playing well. They've not been playing well this season.
No, but they've only
Bournemouth
lost.
9-0.
They've lost twice this season at home. Once to Real Madrid and once to Leeds.
Yeah.
So it's a fortress, as one would say. All right.
It's a test that we're playing well enough. We can go
And
in there.
They fluked 16 goals in 2 games at home, according to you guys.
What do you
Listen,
got, Ray?
if you're an opposing player and you go 2 goals down, 3 goals down, it's very hard to keep going.
That's not fluky then.
Well, no.
Is that fluky? That's not fluky. Based on what you just said, that is not considered a fluke. That's called a team falling on the ground and rolling over.
Can I ask you guys a
totally different.
question?
Fluke.
There's a game.
You can't. Fluke
there-
would mean you
there's a
kicked
game
it. You try to
on
kick it out of bounds.
2009
It hit a
Arsenal-
bird and went in the goal. That's what
I
was
didn't
fluky
use
mean.
the word fluke. He did.
And you double down on it. You didn't say you backed him up.
So
I think. Go ahead, Alonso. Sorry.
Didn't Liverpool give up 4 goals in 2009? Whenever Arsenal scored
Yeah,
that 4
Arshavin.
goal,
Yeah.
that was incredible, right? So they're
Never
more than capable of
Showing us the
giving
form
up
table for
goals.
what right now?
So what's
Who cares, Tony? It doesn't matter, man.
Is that the home? Is that their home? That's not their home.
That doesn't matter
Form?
what it is.
It doesn't.
Their home form is the problem. That's the only problem. The only reason why they might win this is because it's in Liverpool, in Anfield, at their home stadium. That's the only.
In the next 9 games, then, right? How many do you think we will lose in the next 9 games?
Okay.
Lose.
I've got 1 defeat, Stan. I did this a few weeks ago. I went through all of our remaining games. I think we'll lose at Newcastle.
And got any draws in there?
Yeah, I've got draws at Anfield and at Man City.
So where would that leave us?
88 points.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
Yeah, by 2 points. Yeah, I think City will get 86. But I've been known to be wrong before. No, I think we draw at City. We draw at Chelsea.
Because think about it. If we draw at City, right? They can't. That's not. That doesn't cut into our lead.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So the draw at City is more important than a win at Liverpool almost. If you think about it. All right. It's more important to get the draw. If you're going to take a choice, which one do you want? The win at Liverpool or the draw at City? The draw at City. Because that's the only team that can take it away from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we're winning all 9. These are 9 tough tests. We need to get 27 points.
That would be listen.
And then we go and we go into the last 2 matches laughing.
Here's a season where Arsenal get 99 points this season. We missed the Centurions by 1 point. I'd still take it. Don Juan, Anfield is weird. It has the ability to turn Henderson into prime Modric for one night. Man United were awful in that match. They were as bad as they were against Everton. Yeah, listen.
And we don't fall over, right? We don't roll over, do we? We were down 2 goals to Bournemouth. Did we roll over? No.
No, we kept going.
No, so
it looked bad after 60 minutes. We were 2 goals down and looked bad, but we came back. Don Juan, I don't think Arteta is going to overthink it. He did that 2 years ago, and looks to have learned from his lessons. Alonso finally rattled, but thanks to Gary.
What did I do to you, Alonso? Did I do something to you, Alonso?
I don't know. One game.
Is he frozen? I think he's frozen.
Okay.
Oh, he moved.
He broke free from the ice. 1 game at a time, please. West Ham away won't be easy as well. Okay.
Every game's not going to be easy. We lost to Everton.
Let's get predictions, then we'll talk about the City game real quick before we get out of here. Stan, what's your prediction for Sunday? I think I'm going to go first. 2-1 win to Arsenal. We won't score as much as we usually do, but we will concede 1 goal to Liverpool.
I'm thinking 3-1 to Arsenal.
3-1 to Arsenal. And I think for me, Saka is going to score a goal at Anfield. He's stepped up against all of the big teams.
He scores at all the big teams, so it's not a big. I was going to say 3-1, but since Stan said it, I can't say it now.
You were right last weekend. Last Thursday, you were right.
I like the 3-goal win. So I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3-0. It's gonna be quiet. They're gonna be leaving. They're gonna be leaving like 25 minutes to go because it's gonna be so so bad. That's what I want. Think about it.
Don Juan, I agree with you. 2-1. BX gone 4-2. And
That's what I was at, dude.
Riddy's got the fear. Riddy's got the fear with it.
That's his favorite team, Liverpool. That's why he went with the
I was-
2-2 draw.
I was going with BX and 4-2.
Riddy loves Liverpool, right? 4-2, Tony. Who's going to score? Who's going to be your main goal scorer? Who's going to score first?
Martinelli's has scored first.
Yep. Okay, our top goal scorer. Okay.
Rob Holding.
Rob Holding. Hey, he scored last season at West Ham. Remember?
That would be something.
That was his first.
Holding, Xhaka, and like Ben White are our scorers, and we score 4 goals. That'd be crazy, right?
What about Xhaka? Isn't he scored like 3 in a row now or something?
I think something like that.
Let's go for the juggler, says BX. Gary, can I have some of what you're smoking, please?
Why? It was because Stan took my score, so I had to go. I had to go with something else.
Robertson is a shithouser. Robertson's going to
Who isn't that has to play up against Saka? He's seen it all before.
Who? Robertson?
Saka.
Yeah,
he's seen it all before. It won't be anything new.
I just think they're going to try and bring a physical game and try and get us out of our groove.
A spinning ball of death.
Discipline-wise.
We've seen this before, so none of that
All right.
will be a surprise.
What I saw before last year, Tony, was Arsenal losing to Southampton on Easter Sunday.
I remember that day.
I remember that too. Man City go to Southampton. Can they do anything? Can Southampton make us smile on the Saturday before the Sunday?
They could, but not very likely.
Now, Man City. Stan, I think Man City are going to be looking at the Champions League on midweek. It starts next midweek. They're probably going to have one eye on that game.
You can never discount Southampton. They pop up sometimes in the most unexpected places and get results where they shouldn't. I've seen it happen a few times. I'm praying that they're due one, and it's going to be this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? They've drawn, and lost. So
their last home game, Gary, was
switch that up and go
3-3 Tottenham, right?
No, their last
Conte game.
Their last home game was Leicester City.
Who? Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I must have missed something.
Yeah, they won their yeah.
Oh, they beat? No, I thought they played Tottenham.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. They drew 3-3 to Tottenham at home.
Yeah, that was their last home game.
Yeah, but the last win was Leicester. Sorry, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, okay. Don Juan's going for a City win. Listen, Easter. Traditionally, Easter throws up some very strange results. I don't think this is going to be a walkover for City in any way, shape, or form. I think it'll be a tough game for them. Southampton are going to be fighting tooth and nail. Isn't that the saying? Tooth and nail.
Third and 13th in the form table, right?
They've scored more than one goal. They scored more than one goal once in the last like 3 months.
Tony, why does the inform table concern you, Tony? I don't quite understand that concept, man.
He brings that to the table. There's certain things people bring.
I want to hear Tony's explanation.
No, you don't.
I do, Gary.
Stop protecting Tony, Gary.
Okay, go ahead, Tony. Tell him.
I didn't hear what the question was. So.
Oh my God.
Why do you have such faith in the form table, Tony?
Because it's an accurate portrayal of how the teams are doing. It's not just like,
if they're bad, Tony. If they're bad, Tony, they're bad, Tony. It doesn't matter. If they're bad, they're bad.
Tony, well done, finally. Stan, bring some order to this.
Order.
So you don't
Tony?
think
You think the the form table for Liverpool means something. If you're
All
gonna
right.
put a bet down for your house, you're like, because of the
Am I-
form table, I
Am I
think
carrying my house on a little leash like Tom was?
what?
When Tom was betting on one of the wrestling deals, he said he would take his house and drag it to the bookies. He was so confident on who would win the match.
Mm,
All right.
I don't know where you're going with that.
No, me neither.
I
Me
missed it.
neither.
I wasn't there. I missed that show.
Unless any of you want to throw a topic or two in there, we can talk about it. Otherwise, I'm going to go down through the teams and ask you if they're having a good season or a bad season, right? So let's start with Stan. We talked about Arsenal and City. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Newcastle, Stan? Are they having a good season or a bad season?
They're having an excellent season.
Yeah. Third in the league.
If you're a Newcastle fan, say not to, you'd be very happy. You've finally got rid of Mike Ashley. You've got new owners in, a new manager, money, and there you are competing for a Champions League spot. Happy
And
days, right?
they've just beaten West Ham 5-1 midweek.
Yeah.
And now they Isaac is scoring, Wilson's scoring, so happy days if you're a Newcastle fan. And it doesn't look like that team, Tottenham, are gonna be good enough to get into the Champions League. Gary, Man United. How do you frame their season? Are they having a good season?
Oh, season wise, yeah, they're having a good season. I mean, they're battling for top four. They won a trophy. And
I mean, that would be if you stop the season right now, Man United fans pretty happy with the season. Fourth place,
and they still have they still have opportunities to get 2 cups trophies right now. So yeah, they're having a good season. This is why I think a lot of us said, Ten Hag is a good manager to bring in.
All right.
They had players there. They just didn't have the right coaching for them, and we've seen the difference.
Ray doesn't want to hear you say that, Gary.
Who?
First of all, stick a pin in that. I'm going to give Stan a chance to say goodbye. He's leaving us now. Thank you, Stan, for being here.
Stan.
Guys, thanks for having me on. Great talking to you lot. And Sunday, man. I mean,
yeah,
the big
let's
one,
do it.
3 more points in the bag, and I think everybody can start, believing openly, because I know I am. So onwards and upwards, and enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks, Stan. Take care.
See ya.
So Tony, I don't want to hear about Ten Hag. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Because it makes you think about what I said about him, and you don't.
He's a good coach, right? That's what you said. He's a good coach.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
listen.
So then I'm saying what you said.
What? You were saying what I said.
You just want to hear about it, but you already said it.
I don't want to admit it, but yeah.
It is true. It's like saying
He's doing well.
is Rashford having a good year? Yes, he is. He's scoring goals for them. That's what they
Do
need.
you think Man United will over rely on Rashford?
They don't have that many options.
Yeah.
I don't think it's they're over relying. It's like, what are my options on the table? They've had injuries, right? They've had a little crazy things going on with their
They have to
attackers and whatnot.
pick their
So,
best
what
chance.
answers do they have besides Rashford? And he's actually, think about it. He's the one constant that they have, and he's been, carrying the weight. That's what you want, right? So
Newcastle
he's been healthy. He's been healthy as well. So
this is interesting. Newcastle will be the new Chelsea. Maybe Liverpool drop down a bit. Chelsea drop down a bit. Listen, Arsenal are not where they are because City are having an off year. Arsenal are there because they got 72 points after 29 games. And Newcastle will be the new Chelsea. Peace out, Stan the man. Thanks for being here, Stan. Appreciate you. Alonso, you get the poison chalice, Alonso. But
I'm glad
maybe
you
it's
got
going to
this
be
one.
fun. Maybe you're going to have some fun with it. United are only 19 points behind us. Alonso, Tottenham, that team.
Well, according to Tony's their phone table, we're probably like first, right, Tony? I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, we as Arsenal fans always want Spurs to lose and suck it up the toilet, right? Yeah, I mean, it shows that Harry Kane will do anything and everything to get that team to win, especially penalties. Something that's good at. He's good at even in England. So you can't really count on him to even do that right. So he does it right, but that's what he does. And Son has just been disappearing all year long. Um, yeah, so anytime they lose or draw, it's good for us because we'll always be above them. North London will always be red.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean they're harsh words, but they're true, right? Right. So, but somehow Tony is imaginary in a form table will always have them top 5, right? Yeah. So, but then again, it's always him.
It's not my imaginary form table.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, with that said, it's always good to see him do bad, and we're on top of the league, right? So, yeah, any chance we're above them in the table is a good thing. So, yeah.
If you were a Tottenham fan, Alonso, would you be happy with their season? No?
You want to guess where they're at, Ray?
Oh my God.
No. No.
Right. So I would see them. I would want to wear an Arsenal jersey because it's so embarrassing.
They're fifth. They're fifth in the form table, Alonso.
Tony, why do you have to show me that for? Why do you have to show us that for, Tony?
So they're a good team, Tony. They're better than Liverpool.
Yep.
Alonso with the comeback. Nice one, Alonso. That Conte presser was gold. Gary? Enjoyable?
Yeah, there was. I mean, he was just saying what everybody else was saying, except for the problem is he was part of the problem. So
I think we were going to have a podcast in the summer about giving out awards, and the best press conference will be Antonio Conte. So Tottenham will win something.
or it might be Arteta talking about winning a trophy.
Yes.
Well played.
So you'll have to evaluate whether you want to do a serious award or a comedic one. Gary, Brighton, are they having a good season?
Well, they can have a really good one if they win this weekend, right? They are playing that team, and they have 2 games in hand. And if they dude, you go later. You've got your form table. Can you tell us the form table for Brighton? No, just kidding.
Put it in the comment section.
Just kidding. Nobody wants to know.
No,
please tell us where they are in the form table.
No, Brighton playing that team this weekend, 4 points behind them with 2 games in hand. It's got to be like this is the incentive to have a really good. I think it's a home game. Is it home?
Brighton
No,
are
so
playing
it's on the road. On the road, but that means nothing, right?
We're gonna flush Tottenham down the toilet bowl.
Yeah. So we could be laughing at that team.
Laughing at that team 11th in the form table.
We could be celebrating. We have bigger things to celebrate in May, but we could be celebrating St. Tottenham's Day in April. Let me just tell you that. You know what I mean?
We're 22 points ahead, and all we have to do is win 2 games, and it's over.
There you go. It can be done by the middle of April. We can be celebrating the Southampton game, maybe. You know what I mean? Okay.
First time in 7 seasons, right?
First time in 7 seasons. We're on the way back, Tony. I told you this would happen. Remember? Last couple of seasons, I told you we were coming back. Remember our big goal difference conversation last year between Tottenham and Arsenal. Brighton are a well-run team. I'd like them to, they're a pretty good team. Brighton are. They're punching above their weight. Okay, Tony, Unai Emery, Aston Villa.
Second in the form table.
This is not planned. I tell you, people.
Where were they at? Were they 15th place when he came?
They were way down. You know what they've done since Arsenal beat them? They've won 5 games, I think. and drawn 1. You can check on that.
Real easy.
Which form table are you looking at? How many games are you doing?
It's
I'm looking at
his
I'm looking at
favorite
5 games. I
his
see
favorite
2 wins,
website.
2 wins, a draw, 2 wins. That's what I see.
How is that better than what City did?
The City has
Or
played one
Arsenal.
last game.
City's won
City.
their last 4.
They played
Right.
one
It
last
goes
game.
over 6 games, I think, Gary. It's evaluated over
weeks.
6 games, 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Okay, excuse me.
I really didn't need to know all that crap.
But you asked the question.
I did.
Gary.
I did. I'm sorry.
It's because you don't like the
No,
table, right?
yeah.
No, I don't either, Tony. I don't either. It doesn't make any sense to
My
me.
head hurts.
It makes
Tony.
more sense.
Tony, stop winding people up. That's enough for one night, fella. Look how happy he is. Really, look how happy he is.
So me or Tony?
Callum Chambers and Unai Emery is doing a great job, though, Tony, right? Listen,
Tony
this-
from our academy kids.
this validates what we did against them, Gary. We won 4-2 at Villa.
Yeah.
We had to dig deep to go there, but we won in the end, you know. And
Yep.
since then, Aston Villa have gone on this run of 5 wins and 1 draw. You know,
Can
so
you pick a manager that came in halfway through for your manager of a season?
yeah. No, he's done a good job taking over. Unai Emery has so, and he may yet take them into Europe. You know what I mean? I don't think their schedule is too tough as well. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they want to be in the Europa Conference spot, which they're at now. But
No, well, that's a tough one. Alonso, 8th place, Liverpool. Good season or bad season?
Bad season. I mean, anytime you have a team with supporters like Liverpool do, this is a bad season for them. I think, considering last year that they were like 1 point from winning the league, it stings, right? So you have to build off that, and they didn't. And they were hoping that their signings would have mattered this year, and they haven't really. I think Nunez is still trying to figure it out. I think Cody Gakpo as a feature, but they're dependent on him too much to win games. And when you have a midfield like Liverpool do, and possibly Firmino and Salah being older now, they really don't have any backups for them. And they don't play them much. And this is where Jurgen Klopp has gotten in trouble, I guess. You've seen potential, you've seen spurts, but they haven't really done a job where Liverpool fans being proud of them for. And, we'll see what happens. I mean, Van Dijk's older too, so is Gomez. So is James Milner. He's in 50 years old now. So, all those considered, it's been a big disappointment for them.
I think they're out of all of the cups, right? And we could really, Arsenal could really convince those players to pack it in for the season. Jurgen Klopp to play more of the young players and to build for next season. Gary, ninth place. Who's in 9th? Brentford. They having a good season.
Brentford, 10th in the form table. I just checked. And actually, and
Tony, you got competition now.
on my form table, Aston Villa is 3rd behind City because they've only won 3 in a row. So, but anyways, yes, Brentford. I think Brentford is going to. I expect them to be at one point. It looked like they were going to finish in the top, maybe in the top 7 spot. It seemed they were playing pretty well. They've kind of tailed off of late. And I think the season is wearing on them. I don't know if Tony, is gonna if it's
which Tony?
Tony.
Our Tony.
Our Tony.
The Tony that plays football. It's really good at it, but has a gambling problem. So, but I think Brentford's going through a little bit of a struggle right now.
Yeah.
But they're playing Newcastle.
Wow, they drew. Yeah, they had been going well, and they lost 2 out of the last 5.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
they were 10 or 11 unbeaten.
Yeah, I mean, they
12th
what
in the
is it?
form table, right?
12th. Okay. Thank you.
They're 10th in the form table. All right, so it's a battle with the form tables. Mine says 10th, so there you go. But no, I think they're just going through a bit of a it's this
Rough
season
patch.
the Premier League isn't easy, right? So
Yeah.
they're having a little bit of a struggle. I mean, they had draws against Brighton and Leicester, which is those are games. At least Leicester they should win that one, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah, no.
They can
And
do
that
no worse than 9th place after this weekend. They're
yeah,
4 points ahead of Fulham.
yeah, and they're home to Newcastle, so they have an opportunity to maybe wake up and
Yeah.
have a good game because they've been able to surprise some teams, right?
Yeah.
So
Newcastle will be tough.
Newcastle will be tough, and they've been
Mhm.
scoring now, which has been a bit of a surprise too.
Yeah. Tony, Fulham, are they having a good season or a bad season or
They were
meh?
having a great season, then they dropped down to 19th in the form table. They were hovering in almost fighting for a Champions League
They're
spot.
12th. Where are you getting this?
10th. Tony is loving this segment right now.
The form table, the battle of the form tables.
Battle of the form tables.
I'll put it on a 6-week
Do you
thing.
think, Tony, Mitrovic was hard done by with the ban?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it was hard? I mean, definitely it's a red card. He needed to miss some games, but 8 games seems like a lot as well. Okay. 11th place, Alonso is who's in 11? Chelsea, Alonso.
And a rifle. Yeah, as an Arsenal fan, we were happy that they were in 11th. It's so bad just right now that they rehired Brent Lampard to take over as caretaker, and we don't know what happened there the first time. So, all the best to him. He has a mess to figure out, and I would not be surprised if they finished, 14th, 15th. It's that bad, and you could blame the owner, you could blame Graham Potter, you could blame the players. But when you have players that are young and no leadership, playing out of position, they deserve to finish it. They deserve to finish where they're at right now. And to the fans of theirs, their supporters, it's a huge disappointment, especially the signings that they got and the talent they got during the summertime and this past January. So it's a mess. It's a mess that we also fans kind of experienced in a way that our older players didn't stand up and take responsibility or accountability. And in Chelsea's place, there's no leadership, there's no accountability. They just go out there and make a fool of themselves and not win games. And that's and there's no better captain there either. So, it's a mess down there that Frank Lampard inherited, and I don't think he's gonna fix it.
Yeah, I don't have any confidence that Frank Lampard's going to fix it in terms of pushing up the table or even progressing in Champions League. Gary, your thoughts on Chelsea? I mean, I'm going to open this up to you and Tony because it's only fair that we all share.
Yeah.
And what is Todd Bowley doing at that club? He's taking them, I said, steadily down the table.
I guess he recycle who recycles managers like that?
Chelsea.
Like what?
Chelsea.
Recycle. I mean, I don't understand what the discussion is with if Nagelsmann is an option for them. What's the discussion? He's throwing money good after bad as it is. What difference does it? I think they said the reason
It's
why they're
probably
still
a
in
settlement of other two managers.
the
These
man
long
just
contracts.
wasted. They just spent 600 mil or 400 mil
Mm.
in 2 windows. I think whatever Nagelsmann cost is worth it. more than whatever they've spent on
Yeah.
players. You know what I mean? Like, what is it going to cost to buy him out of his contract? Not as much as they've wasted already. And I don't think do they really need to. Do they still need to go out there and get more players? I mean, you just said they got 40 players, and we know they've got at least 2 or 3 players coming in as it is right now. They cannot. You telling me they can't find 25 players out of the ones they have now to have a solid team going forward? And Nagelsmann will have this entire time to figure that all out. With the 40 players plus the 4 coming in or 3 coming in, who are we keeping? Who do we need to let go? Pay the man, pay the man, and move on. You know what I mean? Like, what's the this? He's an idiot, and some people are saying he's given a bad name to U.S. owners, and then people turn around and go, well, Liverpool's U.S. owners aren't saying that. Right now, Arsenal's U.S. owners aren't saying it. So, what is it?
Yeah, it's
right?
him. It's Todd Bowley.
What is
I
it?
didn't know I did not know who he was before.
Yeah. He's spending money like he is a baseball team.
Yeah.
You just go out there and get the best players.
He's fired managers like you do in a baseball.
Steven said Chelsea with Fat Frank in charge are going to be in real trouble. And I think the club is just being mismanaged as well. I was expecting Hiddink, said Riddy. Tony, a quick word on Chelsea. All these long contracts is not sustainable, right?
No, then you're paying all these former managers money. He thinks it's baseball. It's not baseball. But do you know what?
Volleyball.
Do you know what's absolutely the funniest part of this, Ray?
Well, if you can say this without mentioning form table, I'll give you.
Has nothing
credit.
to do with the form table.
Yes, I'm listening.
It's the 2 to 3 month open bidding they had. They were saying they're picking the perfect owner for him.
Mm-hmm.
The Premier League was, and they came up with Todd Bowley.
He must have interviewed. He must have said all the things that they wanted to hear. You know what I mean?
I mean, did the FA just want Chelsea to do shitty? Here you go. Here's this crazy fucking American.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does with you.
Chelsea are in unfamiliar territory for the last 20, 30 years, and now they're back mid-table. I don't really see them climbing up too much higher. Gary, you're next.
Do you know what happened to them the last time they finished in 10th, right?
Yeah, they won the league the next year. I know you too.
Anybody thinks Chelsea next year is poised to be competing for a trophy.
Just look up at Tony, Gary, and ask that question.
Oh, let's check. Is the form? Do you have the form table for next year go already?
Gary, I want you to look up to Tony and say that. Does anyone think that's going to happen, Tony?
Anybody think Chelsea is going to compete for a trophy next year?
Hell no.
No, Tony.
No.
All right, Gary, you're next. Crystal Palace,
18th in the form table. Who looks at all games, not just match day games?
Gary.
18th, Tony. Who does a form table where they go, you know what? It doesn't matter if you haven't played the same number of games.
Exactly.
It makes no
sense.
Because it makes absolutely no sense.
Yes, it does.
Form means how good you're playing. That means if I look at your last set of games, I can tell how you're playing. If you've only played one game and you won that game, whereas I've played 5 games and I've won 1 game, it's not the same form table you're looking at. It isn't.
But what will they say Saturday? Right?
What will who say Saturday?
The pundits. They'll say, welcome to week 32. Game day 32.
Match day.
And what's the problem?
And what's that?
What does that mean?
What's that mean? Yeah.
That means you don't have teams that play that many games.
I think you're losing us. Okay, I don't get it. Hey, let's go to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace.
Roy Hodgson, Gary. Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I think Crystal Palace. I kind of feel like they may have jumped the gun letting go of their manager. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
He isn't going to have
Vieira,
it.
Vieira could have turned it
Like
around.
if I
Right?
recall, and I think this is true, they haven't really spent that much money on players since he's gotten there,
No.
and they've had injury problems with some of their good players, and I believe they do have good players there. So the fact that they're not, where are they sitting right now on the table? They
Well,
are
they're 12th
they're
place.
12th place. So they're 12th place, and they're struggling because of injuries and no support. So
Yeah, the
you know,
board got scared when they were 14th, 15th.
yeah, but that's going to happen if you don't
Yeah.
support your team, and and if you look, how many teams are in the relegation, like within a couple of games of dropping? It's like right now, the
Okay.
relegation zone. You've got uh 6 teams, right? 7 teams actually, right? Two, four,
close. Yeah.
yeah, 7 teams that are 2 games from being in relegation zone.
Yep.
So it's a lot going on there, and common denominator is no support. Yeah.
We love to. We do
Yeah.
love Tony. I don't know if he's the best, but we do. He is the
Yeah.
best in
No,
some
so I
way.
think I
but-
think Crystal Palace is not doing so well. They shouldn't be as low down the table as they are.
Yeah.
But
Um.
I think
Garrett-
if they've taken a step back, because now they have to, if are they gonna go with Roy Hodgson now for
So
the foreseeable future? Or are they gonna get another manager in?
So Gary, they're on 30 points right now. They got 9 games to go, and they usually are somewhere in the mid 40s in terms of point totals.
Yeah. But
So that would mean they need
this
about
year,
5
yeah,
wins from 9.
yeah. But this year, I don't even think that's gonna be needed.
No.
I don't think that's gonna
Ready.
be.
Thanks
I
for
don't.
joining us, Ready.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right,
Get
I
some
don't.
sleep. Gonna
I
need
don't
it.
think 40 points is gonna be needed. Because all those
Well,
teams are struggling, all of them.
if you want to say you're progressing as a club, you got to get reasonably about the same amount
Yeah,
of
but you
points.
can't do that if you've not been supported.
Yeah.
So it can't be. I want you to play better, but I'm not going to help you.
Mm-hmm. The
Right?
owner.
You've got
That
injury,
owner is a problem, right?
right?
Jordan. I think it's Simon Jordan. Is
Yeah.
he the
So
owner?
I think if you don't support the squad, you can't expect them to give you good results. It just
Yeah.
doesn't happen because what is the Premier League, right? Premier League's not easy,
No.
and if you don't support your club, you're basically just hindering them.
Roy Hodgson comes back. They win in injury time against Leicester City, who have been struggling themselves. Might be
So
able
you
to
play the worst team,
spark-
one of the worst teams in the league,
and you-
does that signify that things are
No.
changing? Things are on the up and up.
Well, a win like that might spark something, is what I'm saying. Now, Tony, the next one is Leeds United, who happen to play Crystal Palace on Sunday at Elland Road. Who's in
Leeds-
better shape?
They're in 7th form table, Leeds. So
Leeds, yeah. I think they've beaten Wolves. They won their last game against Nottingham Forest.
You're
Congratulations.
telling me they got a manager bounce?
They're getting a new manager bounce. Right?
Yep.
So our Leeds should be able to beat Crystal Palace here or get a positive result, right?
Could be close.
Now, what's your analysis of Leeds season, Tony? Don Juan says average.
I think it's average. I think coming in, they plan to be probably where they are now, but higher point total because they're just a few off relegation right now. So
Yeah, 2 points off relegation place right now. So if I'm Mr. Tom, I want to get a few more wins.
I think they're a little bit disappointed.
yeah, but these are the games that they needed to win. They won one already. This is another one they have to win.
Yep.
Against teams that
This is
are
important for the
struggling.
season. Yeah.
I think
They've
they'd
got
be
Liverpool.
slightly disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got Liverpool. They've got Crystal Palace and Liverpool coming up as well. They got the win against Nottingham Forest, so that's important. But overall, would be disappointing if you're a Leeds fan. All right, Alonso, Wolves.
I like Wolves. I've always had a soft spot for Wolves. But with that said, coming into the season, I thought that they would build off of what happened last year. I think that last year for them was a pretty good season. But as the season went on and their talent level, I think once we lost Connor and Cody
To Everton.
to Everton, that was a big move. That was a big mistake in my opinion because he was a captain, big part of that team. But I think there's a lot of talented players on there, and how that'll make changes, managerial changes to the team as well. So I want them to stay up. I want them to stay up, and not get relegated. I like Raul Jimenez. I like Ruben Neves. They're a good team, like I said. So there's no reason why they are in the place they're in. They be a good team. So I'm just puzzled why they're where they're at. As a supporter, I'm sure they're not satisfied. I think that they want their team to do well. So yeah, if I were a Wolves fan, I'm disappointed.
Okay. Any other comments on Wolves? Gary, no.
They're probably about where they should be based on.
They haven't been any great shakes, but they haven't been obviously the worst team. But there's not a lot of points between 12th all the way down. 15th place, Gary, is
West Ham.
Yeah. And Don Juan just said
the first of a 27 club.
You know what's crazy is a lot of the teams at the bottom of the table,
they're not going to get good.
Have all had manager. A lot of management changes going on.
Yeah.
Maybe look at the bottom 10. I mean, outside of West Ham and Nottingham Forest, I think everybody else has had a manager change. So two of the bottom 10 have all had some sort of management change there.
Right.
And Chelsea's had two. So, it must be another one. Who else has had a change? Somebody else, I guess, up in the table has had a change too. Oh,
West Ham have to play
that team. But yeah, so West Ham. No, I think West Ham is to be expected. They were going to struggle, but they're struggling worse than I think we expected. Like they weren't going to be able to, it was going to be tough for them to finish in a European spot, but they're playing even worse than that. The fact that they are sitting, they're the best of the worst teams on the relegation line because they have to bet a goal difference, and they're playing Fulham, so that might or might not be a good thing for them. Fulham doesn't score much, so it might not be an issue, but they are playing. I think where is that match?
At Fulham.
It's at Fulham, so that could be, and I think it's a matter of goal difference now because that's what 4 teams at 27 points.
5 teams.
Yeah,
4 teams at 27
and
points.
I was disappointed by Fulham at Bournemouth. You picked Fulham for your upset pick as well, Gary. So I was disappointed. Let me just throw it out up here. Alonso might be interested to see where we are as well on this one. But yeah, they've struggled. Will West Ham go down as per Don Juan?
You know what? It's a roll.
Would be a lot cheaper, right?
It's a roll of the dice. I mean, it's a roll of the dice. There are 2, 4, 6, 7 teams with a win that can change things.
Yeah,
it's 3 points. There's 3-point difference between 19th and what is this? 19th and 14th. Between 14th and 19th place, there's 3 points gap. So goal difference and who gets points can make a big difference. Leeds, who gets a win, there might be if you hit whoever gets over 30 is in a good shape. You know what I mean?
Usually 40, maybe 35 will be enough this season.
It,
the
it,
way
it
things are
possibly,
going.
yeah, I would have no doubt because of the way the things are playing out right now.
Yeah. What's the record for a manager sacking in a season? I think it's at 12. Didn't you say it was
It's
at 12?
12, yeah.
And
Like I said,
Rodgers has been sacked. Is that 13? You know,
Rogers is from where?
Leicester.
Yeah. I think, yeah. So no, I think it
Now,
yeah.
listen, West Ham have to
Yeah,
play
it's not.
Fulham.
It doesn't say anything on the Premier League site about him losing his job. When did he lose his job?
I saw it this evening. So
Why wouldn't he be on the
Brendan
Premier League?
Rodgers, can anyone verify Brendan Rodgers has been sacked?
I heard people saying it early in the week.
Yeah, I heard that earlier in the week as well. Listen, West Ham play Fulham. Then they have a Europa Conference League quarterfinal, which they'll be interested in, which makes it kind of easier for Arsenal because we play them next weekend. You know, so they're going to have a Thursday night game, and then they have to play Arsenal where we go there. You know what I mean? So West Ham's fixtures are tough. The Bournemouth, they play Liverpool, they play City, they play Man United, Brentford, Leeds at the end of the season. Yeah, West Ham have a lot of tough fixtures coming. We're not talking about relegation right now. Let's see how it goes. Double O Slice X is here. Good evening, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tough game this weekend, but let's go get those points. I'm just going to say I'm excited for a huge game. It's nice to win games, but you know we have been winning games 4-1, and it's great to see. But this is a test, this Liverpool test. Tony, who is next? 16th place, Everton. And when we get down here, you're not going to say everyone's having a great season, right? Everton's not having the best season.
Yeah, they didn't last season either. Big money club. Figured they'd be doing more to pull that off, but they haven't. Here you got 8 teams in the bottom 9 separated by 5 points. Don't know if I can ever say I've seen that before.
No, it's very close. You need a couple of wins over Easter to get you separated away from there. You know what I mean?
I think they'll probably say it's good as long as they don't finish in the bottom 3. That's probably about where they expect it to be.
I think Everton could drop into the bottom 3. I think they were very lucky to get away from it last season, and I don't
know how they got out of the bottom 3. I thought they were definitely to finish.
I don't know how. Yeah, Alonso, Nottingham Forest. It's another team that could drop down.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate that they couldn't do better during the beginning of the year because it's a team that you want to root for, especially after they've been at the league for a long time, as long as they have. They made some good signings, but they just haven't meshed well with the system or the coach or whatever it may be. They added a lot of experience also. So we never know what happens behind closed doors. And with that said, it's been a fun ride because I think they need relegated, unfortunately.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to have to go there. Arsenal's going to have to go to Nottingham Forest and get a result there as well. Gary, we'll finish this up pretty quickly here then. Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are going to stay up. I think they're good enough to stay just out of trouble.
Wow, that is.
You think they're going to go down?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I can't remember if we did who we thought might get relegated.
No, we haven't really.
So,
I think on Sunday, all going well, or next Thursday, we could do that.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. I thought we might have done something at the beginning of this season and stuff
predictions?
like that.
No.
But yeah, no. I mean, you know what? Yes, I can see the case where they can get out of the relegation zone, but The only one that's kind of secured a spot there right now is Southampton.
Mhm.
Everybody else, like you say, is within 3 points of getting out of the relegation zone easy.
Yeah.
So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen there, and all it matters is who you play and where you play them, right? I mean, they're playing Leicester, so Bournemouth should have incentive to win that match.
WGF.
Right, it'll definitely get them probably out of the relegation zone if they were to win that, because Everton plays United, so you'd expect
Mhm.
that might be a challenge for them. And Aston Villa playing Nottingham Forest once again; those are two teams in front of them, so it could be,
Yeah.
it could be a good one for them if they're able to get that win. They should be able to get that win, even though think about it, they've got a worse goal difference than Leicester. Leicester's been not that bad. They're just
Yeah.
not winning much.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean they've like Leicester could go from being 19th to being securely out of relegation
Yeah.
because of goal
15.
difference. They're one of the best teams in that bottom half of the table in terms of goal difference. So point here, a win there, and they're looking really good.
Mhm.
So yeah, this will be a big weekend for movement in the bottom of the table because I mean Southampton can't get out of it, but a couple of teams could drop down into it
Yeah.
if things go the wrong way.
Southampton are going to be desperate against City. I think.
Yeah, they might as well just go out there and play. I mean,
Really
they've got
go
one of the
after them.
best free. You got one of the best free kick takers. Why not just
Mm.
slow the game down and give him opportunities and maybe put you in
Yeah.
a position to score? Right, that's what he's good for.
Yeah.
So that's the only
Yeah.
thing they can do really is compact the goal and take your chances and maybe get a free kick here or there and
Mhm.
take
And
advantage
I
of it.
think he's very close to David Beckham's record. He's got to do it soon if they're going to stay in the Premier League. These
Mhm.
last 9 games could be his last chance to do that. Tony, the WGAF game, Leicester City versus Bournemouth, but you're going to talk about Leicester City. Are they having a good season or a bad season?
They're having a terrible season, but when a
It's
team
just
doesn't
not
pick
where
up,
you expect Leicester to be, right?
you knew their season was gonna be fucked when they didn't sign anybody. Who does not sign a player in the summer?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And the last one, Alonso, Southampton. Not great, huh?
No, it's quite embarrassing, really, because last year they escaped relegation also, and then this summer they signed on loan Tony's former academy kid, Mason Niles, thinking that he put in a couple of goals, but it hadn't worked out for him. And with that said, it's a shame because James Ward-Prowse is a great free kick taker, and he's still in that dumpster fire of Southampton. So it's a shame really because they've fought this long to stay up for so many years, and unfortunately they probably could go down along with another of Tony's Academy kid, Dale Wilcox.
Right, he's getting his licks in late here tonight.
Down to the wire, man.
All right. Listen, thanks. Is that it, Alonso? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean.
Any more academy kids at Southampton? No. Callum Chambers.
Callum Chambers, yeah.
He came from Southampton.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it there. Listen, Southampton could drop Leicester City, who won the league, 7 years ago now? They could drop. Everton could drop. So there's a lot of Premier League teams that have been there a long time could go down this season, but we'll see what happens. Gary, any final words?
No, Arsenal just get the 3 points once again. Another test. Just give me my
Right.
3 points. I would like it to be an easy 3 points, but if it's gonna be a little stressful, let's at least get the 3 points. That's all I ask. So, yeah.
Listen, it's going to be a great game on Sunday. We're looking forward to it. A big test. Liverpool at Anfield, even if they're having a season that they've been having away from home, when they come home and have home comforts, they are a tough proposition. But I'm confident Arsenal can find the answers, especially with the formulations we have up front. And maybe maintaining some solidity at the back. Alonso, your final say.
Yeah, I mean, for those teams that are in a regulation zone that haven't been regulated like for a long time, like that, like Everton, that's a club that's got a good fan base, and they look forward to Liverpool, Merseyside Derby They look forward to Merseyside Derby every year, and could you imagine
Yeah,
a year without that derby going on? So
Everton, yeah.
it's kind of crazy how they could be relegated.
Mm-hmm.
And the players, like there will be like Dominic Lewin and Cohen can be regulated. I mean, it's kind of sad for those fans with the history they have. Yeah, even Miguel Arteta is a former Everton player, so they got a lot of rich history there, and it's going to be sad if they get relegated or at least escape it. I think that the league will be different without them in there, and so but they deserve it. Because they haven't played to potential, they haven't played to their standards, they haven't played to what the fans expect them to play for. So there's other things going on there at Everton, and it'd be also be sad for Leicester City too because they won a league 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I since I've been watching English football, I've never seen anything like it before. Their fall from grace, but it all falls down to managers and or ownership, not supporting the club good enough. So it's sad, really.
Yeah. Tony,
I'm gonna make you happy,
take
Ray.
us out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you probably don't watch it. No, you don't watch Ted Lasso. But
No.
my upset pick is the Premier League team that's been focused the most on Ted Lasso this season.
West Ham.
Yep.
West Ham, right? That's your Premier League. That's your upset pick.
That's my upset pick.
Okay, he's gone for West Ham. Tony has made his decision, Gary.
What?
I'm gonna shoot up the white smoke now.
I mean, come on. What's going on with this world?
Yes, that is not right.
Tony has picked his upset pick. A change in strategy, perhaps. Who knows?
It's the fact that there are only 2 Sunday games. If I sleep in, then I'll have to take fucking Liverpool, and I don't want to pick Liverpool.
Yeah, and you got to catch up on Sam as well. You know what I mean?
Well, after I blew 3 of them in a row, I can start playing again.
Okay. Yeah, listen, Tony, you're 10 points behind, 11 points behind.
That's nothing. I was up like 20 points. So.
Gary's right there. I'm the only one who did not pick up points this past weekend.
I didn't pick up points.
You did. Mahir did. Gary and Sam picked up points as well. So it's going to be an interesting final 9 rounds as well. But thanks, Stan, for joining. Gary, thanks for joining. As always, Alonso, thanks for joining. And Tony, thanks for being here and joining as well. Listen, a huge game on Sunday. Let's go get it. We can do this. We win on Sunday. We got one hand on it, I believe. Let's do this. Come on, you Gunners. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Are we gonna do a show Sunday, Ray?
Well, I'd like to. Yes, why? Will you be around?
Of course I will.
Gary, I know it's Easter Sunday.
Argentina died, right?
I don't know.
I'm
don't
talking
know.
live right now.
Martin Sheen died.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
If
don't
you-
know.
Yeah,
know.
family is number one, right? What Gary? What Alonso?
Martin Sheen died.
Martin Sheen died. Wow.
What? What?
Let me do a quick Google of this for like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, Charlie Sheen's father, right?
Okay.
All right, let me see.
Doesn't
That's
say.
sad.
I mean, it's entirely possible, right? 82 years old.
Yeah.
I just saw it in the chat in the comments. I didn't
Yeah,
really
it's
look
not
at
on. It's not in the news yet because Google News doesn't say anything about it just yet. But that doesn't mean much
I mean,
because
it's pretty sad this day and age, Gary. It's pretty sad that you have to like you can't take it on face value. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. But Stephen has said it. You know, rest in peace, Martin
yeah,
Sheen.
no, it's
So,
probably just
trust
happened, but
Stephen.
there's like no news
Yeah.
on it yet, which is weird. Like no like news or like Google can't pick up any news on it. Wow.
It just popped up on his feed. So listen, if that's the case, rest in peace, Martin Sheen.
Mr. Estevez.
Mr. Estevez. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great Easter, Good Friday, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Take care. Arsenal, come on.